Our new season begins today, and it will be historic. More than 30 events, action-packed 50-50 fights. Tonight, 6 fights headlined by our main event, the light heavyweight war between undefeated Naji Lopez and Lenin Castillo, in what will be Naji's toughest test of his impressive career. Also, undefeated super welterweight Darrelle Valsaint steps into the ring for the 12th time to battle Stephen the Chosen One Daniel. In a clash of undefeated heavyweights, Milton makes his ProBox TV debut versus Stanley Wright. Join us tonight as we kick off the new year like only ProBox TV can and see what millions of people are watching.
Have you missed us? We're back. 2025 ProBox TV. See the skyline of Tampa. We got to wear sweaters. 40 degrees today in Tampa. Brr, but we're all right because it's hot in here at ProBox TV Event Center. As always, a great card kicking off our January. We start off Darrelle Valsaint versus Stephen Daniel. Valsaint undefeated in his career, but frustrated by the results of the Ruiz fight his last time out. Stephen Daniel from Holland, very, very experienced, looking to upset the young, hungry lion. In our co-main event, Milton versus Stanley Wright, 2 undefeated, that's right, undefeated knockout specialists. Both of them looking for the big punch. Stanley Wright tipping the scales at just under 300 pounds. In our main event, Naji Lopez puts his undefeated record 12-0 on the line against Lenin Castillo in the light heavyweight division. A big physical light heavyweight, not just that. Guys fought some of the best in the world. Naji Lopez looking to add his name to his ledger, and that is not an easy thing to do. Welcome in ProBox TV ringside, Jimmy Smith alongside the champs, Chris Algieri, Paulie Malignaggi. When you look at our main event, you know the story. Undefeated, but you don't have any names on your record. Well, Lenin Castillo, definitely a name. Naji Lopez, I'm a Steelers fan. Naji Lopez has to do everything right tonight. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a very dangerous opponent. Lenin Castillo, at his best, I mean, gave everybody hell. I mean, the highest level. We're talking about Dimitri Bivol. Went 12 rounds with him, was in that fight very much. Very difficult guy. He punches with you. He's got good power. He's got good size to the weight class. Naji Lopez, obviously, we know what he brings to the table. Great athleticism, but still lacks a little bit of experience. Lacks in opponents like you're talking about. Tonight, he's got a guy in front of him that's going to answer a lot of questions.
Does Lenin Castillo have to kind of pick his shots in this one, Paulie? He's a big guy, very physical, but Naji Lopez, much younger. What's your thought on the strategy?
You know, I don't think you make it tactical if you're Lenin, you know, because you're going to fight a very explosive, young, talented fighter like Najee. If you make it tactical, you're going to give him the time. I think Lenin, in our fighter meeting, mentioned bringing some pressure. I think that will be the smart thing. Obviously, you have to be intelligent pressure, but physical pressure sort of make Najee a little bit uncomfortable. Najee sometimes has a tendency to fight too much when he feels the heat a little bit. And maybe you can get Najee to open up a little bit too much, and you catch him with something like that has happened in the past. Castillo is one of these experienced guys. He's par for the course for a young fighter like Naji Lopez to have to take on his way up the ladder. You got to get past these kind of opponents, but they can be slippery banana peels because they have been at the top level.
When you look at the co-main event, when you have 2 undefeated heavyweights with a ton of knockouts on the resume, is it about the intangibles that make them different, Paulie? They're both big. They both have knockout power. Could be those little battles, IQ, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's always those little intangibles that are eventually going to separate you as you go up the ladder. You know, you talk about when you first see a prospect, oh, he's big, he's strong, he's powerful, he's got good defense or whatever it is you have. But then the intangibles come when you're inside the ring. And what happens when you get hit? How do you react? You know, Or how do you react when, you know, you're in an uncomfortable situation? Or do you know how to put guys in those uncomfortable situations in those subtle mechanisms? You start to see the IQ as you go up the ladder. And those are the intangibles that start to reveal themselves as you fight better opposition.
Yeah, standing right, a lean 280 for this fight. He's fought as high as 296. That's a big boy. How do you deal with that in the ring, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you got to stick to your game plan. This is the heavyweights. These guys are used to being with big guys. Milton has been in with some of the best of the world in the gym. Haven't seen him on fight night. Now he's got a guy in front of him with that size. He's got that power. He's got big knockouts. He's been experienced in terms of the gym, but he hasn't seen it on fight night. We see what he can bring from the gym to here.
Yeah, and not just that, but the return of Darrelle Valsaint, undefeated 11-0, but one no contest. That one no contest, his last time out against Angel Ruiz. A clash of heads led to a no contest. I'm sorry, when we interviewed him, he couldn't wait to get out here, actually twitching, couldn't wait to do it. But can he contain that tonight and fight a disciplined fight against Steven Daniel, a very experienced fighter out of the Netherlands? The guy did not come here to lose. So that is an excellent test, not just about the physicality, but also the mental state of Valsaint. That is the question. We are about to get underway. That's right, and we are getting underway with a fantastic fighter, Ben Johnson, 2-0, decorated amateur, but only 20 years old. His opponent, 38, out of Mexico. What does that mean? That means a war is coming in our opener at ProBoxTV. Let's go to the ring. Let's get it started.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the ProBox Event Center, Tampa, Florida, for an evening of action being presented to you by BetOnline, along with Wild Casino. Tonight's bouts are being sanctioned by the Florida Athletic Commission. Our chairperson is Tina Pike. Vice chair, we have Jeremy Weppy. Our commissioners are John Hawley, Adrian Nunez, and Dr. Anup Patel. Our executive director is Timothy L. Shipman, and our assistant executive director is Gregory L. Pitts. We kick things off with this bout set for 6 rounds in the welterweight division. Iniciamos la acción con este duelo pactado a 6 vueltas en la división peso welter. Los jueces son, the judges are Michael Ross, Braden Jackson, and Shammy Shipman. Introducing first, the fighter standing in the blue corner, presentando en la esquina azul, vestido de rojo con vivos negros, he steps in, wearing red with black trim, his official weight, 148 1/4 pounds, su peso oficial, 148 libras y un cuarto. A nivel profesional, mantiene un récord de 5 victorias, 8 derrotas, un empate y una de sus victorias por la vía del knockout as a professional. He maintains a record of 5 victories against 8 losses, 1 bout even, one of his victories coming by way of KO. Fighting out of H-Town, Houston, Texas, Gil La Metralleta Garcia. His opponent in the red corner, su oponente en la esquina roja, vestido de verde con negro y plateado. He steps in wearing green with black and silver trim. He weighed in at 149 pounds, su peso oficial 149 libras. Sube el cuadrilátero por tercera vez a nivel profesional con 2 victorias, 0 derrotas y ambas victorias por la vía del knockout. He enters the ring for the 3rd time as a professional with 2 victories. No losses, both of his victories coming by way of KO. From the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., Ben Johnson. With final instructions, referee Christopher Young.
Okay, gentlemen, we issue instructions in the dressing room. It's got a tough, clean fight. Give him commands all the time, take cells all the time. Touch him up.
Well, you can just have eyes and see the height disparity here. Ben Johnson at 2-0, the much bigger fighter. Gil Garcia has to find a way around that. Not just that, but the excellent technique of the boxer from D.C.
All right, here we go. Red corner, you ready?
Yeah, Ben Johnson, one of those guys, man. Jimmy and I, we both said it when we called him in Washington. We're like, man, if this guy can fight, he's going to be a star.
It's so true. He has that it, doesn't he, Paulie? Right?
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes that's the problem. They have all of it except the be able to fight. So that's why if Johnson shows us the ability to develop as a really good prospect, there's a lot of upside to him.
Already coming in very aggressively with that lead hand. Out of the same camp, of course, as the Roach brothers. DC now a hotbed of boxing, both pro and amateur, gentlemen.
Yeah, right off the bat, you see the class of Ben Johnson throwing nice hooks off the jab to lead that right hand up. Good awareness, good defense early on against the veteran. Oh!
Sneaky right-left combination. Johnson now teeing off.
Yeah, figuring out how to create that space on the inside against the guy with the shorter guy, opening him up nicely.
But Garcia showing that veteran tactics. He's landed a couple overhand rights in the middle, but man, is he eating some heavy leather, especially from the left hook.
5-1, not a good trade.
Garcia waving Johnson on.
I love the punch selection from Ben Johnson. He's really shortening up those shots on the inside.
That sneaky right hand has been money from the beginning.
Really short, Jimmy. Really shortens up that shot. Nice cutting punch. But again, you know, Garcia is coming with that overhand right.
He's game.
But so far, no answer for the attack.
And one thing about Garcia, he doesn't really have an ability to go backwards. So when you see him going backwards, it's because he felt the shot. He was looking to hold his ground a lot through that barrage that Johnson had brought to him in this round, in the first part of this round, but you finally started to see him give some ground now.
Fighter out of Houston, Texas, now trying to make it another minute 10. That's not a guarantee with an attack like this.
Yeah, he's starting to slow down now. And his legs are a little shaky here.
You're seeing Ben Johnson really sitting down on his feet, letting that power fly.
Body shots hurt us at ringside, gentlemen.
Oh, that right hook right around the guard has been a nasty shot.
That's it. Referee steps in.
Garcia, you know, he's dangerous.
He's arguing it. You don't want it to be stopped.
Yeah, he's looking at Chris Young, and he's like, "Yo, why are you stopping?" But you know, you gotta also show the ability to defend yourself too.
Yeah.
And that was the problem with Garcia. Tough and game, and maybe he wasn't crazy hurt, but every shot is hitting you.
That was more of like an outclass stoppage. Like, he was definitely getting hit, but I didn't see him get that hurt. He wasn't wobbled a little early, but I mean, that was going to happen.
But also, champ, the amount of numbers that Johnson was putting on him, you know, it was a heavy pace. You're getting hit. You wasn't wobbled, but you're getting hit with everything, and it's coming at a fast pace. So it's like we don't even get a break from seeing you get hit. You're just getting hit the whole fight.
I mean, we're gonna take a look at that right here. Some of these hard, short shots from Ben Johnson really did a good job of changing up the range and the punch selection on the inside. You saw that little lead uppercut to the left hook. Beautiful lead lead left hand work from Ben Johnson tonight.
And I like the way that he extended his shots when he was at a little bit of a distance. He shortened his shots when he was at close range to make the adjustment. You see Chris Young making the stoppage. It wasn't one particular shot that Chris Young saw and stopped the fight. It was just like, all right, dude, you know, there's a bit of a gap in class here, and I don't want to see it anymore.
That's exactly what it was. It was the class.
What I'm curious about in a lot of these fights, gentlemen, you kind of want the guy to, get work, as they say. Hey, man, go a couple rounds, work on your tools. Johnson had no interest in that. He was looking for a stoppage from the beginning. What are your thoughts on that aggressiveness, Paulie? Yeah,
it can work for you and against you. I also think these are the kind of opponents where you do want to work on some of those things, but at the same time, there's also a side of the critics that will say, well, you got to show guys like this, they don't belong in the ring with you, so you got to get rid of them. So we saw that.
And Johnson moves to 3-0. Undefeated. Keep an eye on this young man out of D.C. Once again, the Roach Camp. Jordan fighting tonight. Lamont, showdown with Gervonta Tank Davis waiting. That is a team that's absolutely stacked with talent. And it was one-sided. Lupe Contreras will make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the ProBox TV ring, a series of unanswered blows obligates referee Christopher Young to call this contest with an official time of 2 minutes, 8 seconds of the opening round. Damas y caballeros, dentro del cuadrilátero de ProBox TV, una serie de golpes sin respuesta obliga al referee Christopher Young a parar la contienda con un tiempo oficial de 2 minutos, 8 segundos del primer asalto. Declaring the winner by way of technical knockout, declarando al vencedor por nocaut técnico, still undefeated, Ben Johnson.
And Johnson moves to 3-0. Incredible talent on display. Not just talent, but power as well. The guy could do everything in the ring, and we saw it. This guy's going to have to level up very, very quickly in the ProBox TV ring. Why? We like our 50-50 fights. I find someone who can be the other half of the 50 for this kid because he's incredibly talented.
Yeah, I know. We called this first fight his pro debut. He has not made it out of the first round yet and didn't make it out of here tonight as well. Definitely going to have to step up in class soon.
Yeah, he definitely will. And speaking of that step up in class, we certainly have that in our main event tonight. It is Naji Lopez versus Lenin Castillo. Naji Lopez undefeated in his young career at 12-0, but what don't you have? You don't have the names. How many have you beaten? He's beaten 12. How has he done it? He's usually looked very, very good, but the name Lenin Castillo has been in there with some of the best. It's that veteran savvy that might be the difference tonight. Chris, what do you think of this step up and the timing of it? Is it the right time?
I mean, if he gets the win, yeah. If he doesn't, then no. But that's boxing, right? So everything that Lenin Castillo does well are the things that Najee has shown to be susceptible to. You know, getting clipped with shots, guys punching with you. That's what Lenin Castillo does really well. He punches with you. He's a very dangerous guy, and he's got power. So if Najee can get past someone like this, I think it's a perfect segue into where he's going to go in the next part of his career.
Let's talk about a great fighter in Lennox Lewis. Great fighter. I was a big fan, but when he faced guys who were his height, who could match him physically, not that he didn't win, but he was a different guy. In this case, Lenin Castillo is 6'3" at light heavyweight, Paulie. He's not just a veteran guy. He's a big physical guy that can't be pushed around. Do you think that might be a factor?
He's an imposing guy, you know. So it was, you know, it can also vary depending on your mindset. It's important to have the right mindset. You know, at times Lennox struggle with those kind of guys, but you think of fights like the Michael Grant fight, you know, where he blew away the bigger guy, you know, or you think a guy, you know, later in his career against Vitaly Klitschko, he didn't look great, but you know, against Shannon Briggs as well. So I think it's a mentality thing. You know, I think it's a mindset thing when you show up on fight night. And I think with Najee, like I said in the introduction, this kind of step up is par for the course. You're gonna eventually have to fight guys who are, you know, guys who've been in with championship fighters, guys who, you know, the mindset for the matchmakers is the guy just faded enough for my prospect to be on the rise, just enough, and you catch him at that perfect crossroads where the win still has value.
Yeah, you're right in that cusp.
Yeah, where they're not so shot that it's like, all right, nobody cares, but they're also shot just enough to where the prospect who's developing shows just a little bit more to beat them. And that's what you're banking on here with Naji Lopez when the matchup was made from his team. Is Castillo passed it just enough, and is Najee on the rise just enough to make this a crossroads fight where it has value to it.
And for Castillo, it's like, well, can I pull that trigger one more time?
Yes.
Because he is a dangerous puncher. He does punch with you. Marcus Brown, who is a very, very talented light heavyweight a number of years ago, struggled mightily with Lenin Castillo. Got dropped in that fight, got caught with one of those punches he didn't see. I think it was a counter left hook. And that's the thing. He can punch with both hands, too. So can he pull that trigger one last time? That's the question.
And he can reach you. He's big. He can reach you.
He is big for the weight class.
What I'm curious about is the mentality right now. Naji Lopez is in the back. He's getting his hand wrapped. His coaches are talking to him. Chris, is it a matter of you make sure your guy just sees this as, look, just another fight. Don't overdo it in your own mind. Don't try to do too much, even though it's a veteran guy and a big name. What's your thought on the mentality of taking on really the first name of your career?
Listen, I don't think it matters. If you're in the ProBoxTV stable, everything is a ton of pressure. You're walking around on eggshells here. These guys are a bunch of killers all around each other all the time. Everyone's competitive. The gym has been worried about this fight because it is a step up for Naji Lopez. They train together. The culture in the gym is one of being on edge. Is one of them keeping everybody high testosterone, ready to rock. So I don't think it matters who he's fighting. He's going to have that feeling, and we've seen that here too. But he's got to be tight like a viper tonight.
Now, is it a matter of also staying educated with that lead hand? Because Lenin Castillo, when he's on, very educated with the jab, Paulie.
Yeah, and like I said, you got a guy who has that range as well, you know, so you want to, you know, be educated with the lead hand and also be educated about the range in general, the understanding of range in general, because Castillo is a big guy, and one of the things these big guys for these weight classes have is they can reach you with shots that you might feel you're usually out of range from. So, yeah, that's part of the discipline for sure, is understanding range, distance, especially with the lead hand.
Yeah, when you look at this fight, it is about timing and it is about rounds. Why? That's how you judge combat sports. You can say, I've been in this for 10 years. How many rounds do you have? How many hours do you have in the gym? When it comes to that, Lenin Castillo has rounds against outstanding fighters like this one guy, Dimitri Bivol. Maybe you guys have heard of him.
12 rounds in him. I mean, lost most of the rounds, but was competitive and throwing punches till the end, fighting with Bivol. So, I mean, that speaks worlds to where this guy has been in terms of experience.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. It's about when you feel you are done, you are a different guy than when you believe you can still win. One thing about Lenin Castillo tonight, he believes he can win. That's one thing about being young and undefeated. We've heard it a million times, right? Doesn't know how to lose. Well, Naji Lopez does not know how to lose. This is a young man who comes in with a ton of confidence. Also, he has fought here at ProBoxTV. He feels it's his home. Can he defend his home tonight in the main event? That is the question. Check it out.
My name is Naji Lopez. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and I train at a ProBox.
I'm not always looking for the knockout. It just happens, you know. I just want to, you know, look good and progress every time I step in the ring.
Naji CHINO Lopez. Still undefeated, Naji CHINO Lopez.
You saw it yourself, Naji Lopez. His ability here in the ProBox TV ring not in question. But Chris, I have a question for you, which is when he has made mistakes, when he has been caught, what has it been about? Has it been about that, you know, his confidence at the wrong time? What is it when he gets caught?
No, it's definitely not confidence. He's got a ton of confidence, and he shows that when he does go down, gets up, and looks to knock his man out. I think he's a little too aggressive at times. He has such physical gifts. He's got a fantastic jab. He's super athletic. He's tall. He's long for the weight class. He's got a fantastic gas tank. He can punch. He's got all these things. But sometimes he gets a little over his skis, so to speak, because he wants to hurt his opponent. And that's what makes him exciting. Right. And sometimes he runs into shots, gets hit with punches he doesn't see. He does go down, always gets up and finishes the job, but with the higher level, these types of guys, these Lenin Castillos and beyond, you got to be a little more careful and set these shots up better.
Is it also about the confidence, Paulie, in Lenin Castillo? Veterans, when they get you hurt, they don't let you off a hook. A lot of new guys, when they hit you and they knock you down, they're almost as surprised as you are that they landed that shot. Castillo, there's blood in the water. He's going to finish you.
Well, it's also a matter of, he's not only going to finish, he's got blood in the water, but, you know, sometimes these guys, they don't know what they got left. And if they're able to see that they can hang with you and they can hurt you, now it starts to all come back to them, you know, like that Celine Dion song, they're all coming back to me now, you know, it starts to all come back. I've done this. I've been at the higher level. I'm better than this guy. All of a sudden, that self-belief starts to show up, and all those savvy veteran things can give you a big problem. So I think the best way, I always found the best way to deal with veteran guys who have maybe even have been there and have that confidence in their experiences, never let them into the fight. Yep. And I think that's the important thing for Najee. Does he understand that? Because that's a mentality thing. That's not a physical thing.
Yeah, setting a pace, too, for the older guys. These guys, they're like, I just don't have it anymore. Make them realize they don't have it anymore.
Youth energy.
You only realize that in the ring. Everybody in the gym is good. Yep. Yeah, you don't lose it in the gym. You really do, but you don't understand you did. You find out you lost it when you're in there.
When you look at the pacing of this fight, what I'm curious about is sometimes I tell people, hey, in round 2, we're going to know who's going to win this fight. In round 4, we're going to know. If you would set a line, is it about those first 3 or 4 rounds to you, Chris?
No, I think it's going to be more middle rounds for me. I think we're going to see Naji Lopez look very, very sharp early on. Castillo is a very smart, savvy guy. I think he's going to be waiting. He's going to be looking for that shot, that time where he can punch with you, try and catch you with something. If he gets a little confidence early, maybe he lands early, he's got that length, he's able to touch Najee early, that fight can change on a dime right there, and then you're going to see him look to set up that perfect shot. But I think once we get past those middle rounds, we're going to start to see the age play a factor.
It is chess, not checkers, when you're taking on veteran fighters. It is about what you give each and every round, not about your open, not about your close. It's about how you play the entire game move by move. Veteran guys like Lenin Castillo, they know that 100%. The question is, does Naji Lopez know it? 12 fights, undefeated. Everything he has done has worked. Will it work tonight? Well, we've talked a lot about his confidence. This is a young man with a ton of confidence. You want to know? Ask him all about it, and he'd love to tell you. Here he is.
What's going on, y'all? It's Naji Lopez, and I train right here at the ProBox facility in Florida. I chose ProBox. It was just an amazing fit here. Gary Jones, you know, an amazing guy. Training with Coach Mark, I just felt like I wouldn't be nowhere else. The fight I got knocked down, I just, you know, with being a guy ass, I just got careless. In boxing, it happens. You can see I did the backflip, the headstand backflip, and I got up and commenced. You learn from things like that. The best went down and the best got up and showed everybody why they was the best. So you probably will never see that again. They definitely put my name in the top prospects at 175, but I believe I'm the best 175 there is in the game right now. And you know, fighters, the fighters coming up, the 175 guys coming up like Khalil, Cole, Ben Whitaker, everybody faces adversity, but I feel like I have something different than those guys. I'm better than those guys. The 24th, I will be facing Lenin Castillo right here on ProBox, and I'm gonna show you what I can do with a veteran guy like that. And you know, it's up from there. I definitely want to be the first ProBox world champion, and I definitely want to, you know, win my title right here on ProBox TV.
We asked it a few minutes ago, why now, why this name? I liked the way Naji Lopez said it. He said, hey, there are other guys you're looking at light heavyweight. They didn't have great years last year. I want to get in there and let everybody know I am the prospect. That is an important statement to make. So the reason why this is happening now, in a sense, is he said, look, other guys 175 took a little bit of step back. This is my chance to make a dramatic step forward. Why? Right now, 12-0, things like that, you're starting to get attention as a title contender. Now, 20 years ago, that never happened. We didn't know who you were until 2025, unless you were an Olympic gold medalist. Now, 12, and it might be they're looking at you to maybe have a minor title or be a contender. He could take a gigantic step forward tonight. Another fighter tonight, Darrelle Valsaint, undefeated, making his return to ProBox TV after a clash of heads with Angel Ruiz. When we talked to him, he was chomping at the bit. I'm sure he is now. He's backstage now with Jim Sorensen.
Hey guys, I'm here backstage with Darrelle Valsaint. And Blast, you know, listen, the last fight that you had, it ended in no contest, clash of heads. That was pretty. How did that feel for you?
It was very upsetting. I was very disappointed. I was ready to show all my skills. Whatever I had to show, I was ready to show it that night. But you know, we back at it 2 months later.
Absolutely. No, I could tell you, I was in the ring. I was feeling for you, man, because you were coming out there with everything. Tell me now, tonight you're facing a pretty strong, a pretty guy who's got a lot of experience, 23-5, and he's. How do you prepare for this fight?
Just listening to my coach and just my camp, being around experienced fighters, sparring experienced fighters, and believing in myself and knowing what I could do. That's how I prepare for this fight.
All right. You got? Have you seen videos on this guy? Do you know what he's going to do? Do you know what he's going to bring to you?
I seen that he's like a little crafty in there, but I'm crafting my goddamn self, and I'm ready to go in there and just do what I do, man.
Absolutely. So, Blast, what are you looking forward to after this? I know you're focused on the fight at hand. I know what you're doing tonight, but you got any plans for the future? Where do you want to go after this?
Where I want to go after this is to continue to stay in the ring and stay active, stay fighting, staying smooth in that ring, staying active. That's it, staying active.
Absolutely. Well, you've been doing that here on ProBox TV. It's so fantastic to have this amazing young fighter, 11-0, 9 KOs. So excited to keep watching him. And now back to you guys.
Certain guys make you want to go to the gym. Darrelle Valsaint, we talk to him, you're like, man, I gotta get back to the gym and do something because he's so full of energy, but that can also hurt you. What are your thoughts on his attitude right now, Chris?
I actually was just thinking that. I saw him. He looked a little itchy again, and you know, I like to see a guy when he's cool, calm, and collected. I like the itchiness, but you know, he's coming on fight night now, so we'll see how that translates into the ring.
And his opponent from Holland has a kind of a European style, really herky-jerky, hard to kind of figure out. Could that be a good test for him, Paulie?
It's one that makes you think. You know, it's a guy with some veteran experience, a little bit of awkwardness. Sometimes these prospects, you know, they're very, very talented, but all of a sudden you put something awkward in front of them, it's hard for them to look good. This is one of those tricky fights where, only because Valsaint is such a hyped-up prospect, and the cat is out of the bag with him. He's so good that now you're judged not just on winning, but looking good. Danio, I'm not sure if he has the goods to upset Valsaint unless he can catch him with something, but you know, he may have the style to maybe not make him look good, to fluster him a little bit. And that's where I think the mindset comes in for Valsaint, to keep that focus throughout the duration of the rounds.
Chris, you talk about all the time. You and Paul, you were decorated amateur. Chris, but you talk about when amateurs come up, they're used to clean lines. They're used to other great amateurs, right? Guys from other countries who are really good. Sometimes a guy comes in with funk, and you're like, what am I dealing with here if you haven't seen it before, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, we don't see a lot of fighters coming out of the Netherlands. Usually you see kickboxers coming out of the Netherlands, not so many boxers. And this guy's got 30-plus fights. That's a big step for a guy who's coming into his 12th professional fight like Blast is. And when you, like you said, when you're used to that high-level amateur stuff, you're used to clean lines, you're used to a guy who's doing what he's supposed to do. Daniel's not going to do that. He's not going to do the things you expect. And so I want to see how Valsaint can utilize his athleticism to set Daniel up, even though he's a hard guy to get a read on.
And Jimmy, you know, I don't want anybody to get confused with what you said. The awkwardness, the guys that come, these guys like Daniel, they have boxing experience. They come from other worlds, but they have boxing experience. That's the trick. They've known how to sort of morph that awkwardness into a boxing style. Because a lot of times you get a guy who, for example, Conor McGregor, he sucked. Like, he came from another sport, but he didn't know how to morph the awkwardness yet into the boxing. The guys like Daniel, those kind of guys like that, they've got enough experience in boxing to where, yeah, they're going to be awkward, but they've understood how to morph it into the sport. And that's where you can give a guy like Valsaint credit.
Just because you're not clean doesn't mean you're not good.
Exactly, but you know how to make it work.
That's right. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. See the main event, Lopez versus Castillo, the heavyweight co-main event. Don't miss it.
Our new season begins today, and it will be historic. More than 30 events, action-packed, 50-50 fights. Tonight, 6 fights headlined by our main event, the light heavyweight war between undefeated Naji Lopez and Lenin Castillo, in what will be Naji's toughest test of his impressive career. Also, undefeated super welterweight Darrelle Valsaint steps into the ring for the 12th time to battle Stephen the Chosen One Daniel. In a clash of undefeated heavyweights, Jeremiah Milton makes his ProBox TV debut versus Stanley Wright. Join us tonight as we kick off the new year like only ProBox TV can and see what millions of people are watching.
Welcome into 2025. We're ready to get it started here at ProBox TV. You see the Tampa skyline, a balmy 40 degrees today. I actually needed a sweater, better off than a lot of people in the country, but it is red hot right now in the ProBox TV Event Center as we get our January and our 2025 started. And that's right, Darrelle Valsaint making his return to ProBox TV undefeated, taking on Stephen Daniel from Holland. Awkward style. Can the young undefeated prospect get another win in dramatic fashion? That is the question. In our co-main event of the evening, Jeremiah Milton versus Stanley Wright. Undefeated, knockout power. Which heavyweight am I talking about? They both have it. Stanley Wright tipping the scales at 280 for this fight, but Jeremiah Milton, power in both hands. Can he make it a factor tonight? They're going to test the strength of the ring. In our main event, Naji Lopez versus Lenin Castillo. It happens in every fighter's career. 12-0 for Naji Lopez, but Lenin Castillo has been in with some of the best in the world at 175 pounds. It's about adding that name to his resume tonight. But easier said than done for the fighter from Puerto Rico right now. ProBox TV, we are ready to go ringside. As always, Jimmy Smith alongside the champs, Chris Algieri, Paulie Malignaggi. When you look at the main event, that step up, 12-0, needs the name. That name is Lenin Castillo. Naji Lopez, does he have everything it takes, not just win, but look good tonight?
Well, yes, he does. Simple answer. Absolutely, he has everything. He's athletic, he's tall, he's long, he's got power, he's got killer instinct. But can he put it all together against an experienced guy like Lenin Castillo? That's why we're here.
Yeah, Lenin Castillo, of course, been in there with Dimitri Bivol, some of the best in the world, and looking to make his name on the young, undefeated guy. We know the story. Lenin Castillo, Paul, you talk all about the mentality of believing you still have it. Does Castillo believe he still has it?
You know what? I think we're going to find out early in this fight. You know, I think if Naji Lopez has that explosive youth energy where you just kind of put the veteran Castillo on the back foot and sort of make him a little bit surprised, a little bit gun shy, because remember, he's been knocked out badly by Callum Smith. So, you know, you're on the other side of your prime. you risk putting a guy like Lennon Castillo in a position where he never gets started. But a guy like Lennon Castillo, a veteran guy like that, if you let him get started, if you let him pick up some confidence, and you let him touch you a little bit, now all of a sudden they believe in themselves. And now all of that savvy veteran ability starts to come to the forefront, and you're going to have a long night, and you're going to have to think your way more through it than you would have otherwise.
Yeah, Stanley Wright, Jeremiah Milton is our co-main event. Two heavyweights with knockout power. Nothing is less impressive in the gym than a heavyweight who hits hard, right? They're all supposed to hit hard. Is it about the intangibles in this fight, Paulie?
You know, it usually is in boxing. You know, we at first, when you first see a prospect, you look at the things that stick out to you that, you know, make them a prospect. You know, either they hit hard, they got their fast hands, they're strong, they got a good chin, whatever it might be. But at a certain point, you got to start to get to those point in fights where these intangibles come to the forefront. How do they react when they get hit? It's not just about taking a shot. Do they get gun shy? Do they want to fight? Or do they know how to cut off the ring? Do they know how to put guys in positions to be in danger? How do they react when they get put into danger? And you only see those intangibles as you raise the level of opposition. I think tonight is a good crossroads fight for these two heavyweights.
Yeah, Stanley Wright, 280. He's weighed in as heavy as 296. But he said, I have hand speed and I have IQ. Are they the difference tonight, Chris?
Usually are. I mean, both these guys can punch him. As heavyweights, it takes one shot. I don't care who you are. I don't care how big you are. These guys are big. Both guys are punchers, but it's going to take more than just being able to hit hard to win tonight.
Yeah, there are a lot of centers of boxing. I'm from one of them, LA. These two gentlemen are from New York. Another one of them. How about Washington, D.C., the Roach family? Right now doing great things in boxing. Not just the brothers, but the team itself. Well, Jordan Roach is getting it started for us. You see the tail of the tape. This young man, 21 years old, to be young again. How amazing would that be? His opponent, only 25. It's about the young gun. Can he look impressive tonight? Lupe, get it started.
From the ProBox Event Center, Tampa, Florida, this is another edition of ProBox TV, the action being brought to you by Bet Online and Win Casino. This contest, 6 rounds or less in the super flyweight division. Este duelo, pactado un límite de 6 vueltas en la división peso super mosca. Los jueces son, the judges are Harold Hunt, Michael Ross, and Braden Jackson. Presenting the blue corner, presentando la esquina azul, vestido de blanco con color dorado. He steps in wearing white with gold trim. He weighed in officially at 115 pounds. Detuvo la báscula a un peso oficial de 115 libras. Sube al cuadrilátero por cuarta vez a nivel profesional con 2 victorias, un empate y un knockout. He enters the ring for the 4th time as a pro with 2 victories, 1 bout even, and one of his victories coming by way of KO. De Sidra, Puerto Rico, Boricua to the bone, Luis Quiles. His opposition in the red corner, su posición en la esquina roja, vestido de color negro. He steps in wearing black. He weighed in at 114 1/2 pounds. Su peso oficial, 114 libras y media. Tonight, this cold-blooded technician enters the ring for the 3rd time as a pro, looking to remain undefeated with 2 victories. One of his victories coming by way of KO. Esta noche, este peleador técnico sube por tercera vez al cuadrilátero, buscando mantenerse invicto con 2 victorias. Una de sus victorias por la vía del knockout. From Upper Marlboro, Maryland, Jordan Iceman Rose. Our referee, Emil Lombardi.
Okay, we went over the rules in the locker room, right? I expect a good, clean fight out of both of you, right? Pay close attention to my commands. Protect yourself at all times. Touch them up and wait for the bell.
Got that. Something you're not going to see very often outside of ProBox TV. 2 undefeated prospects early in their careers.
Show me your mouthpiece.
Taking each other on. Someone's has to go, as we say. Having it underway in round number 1, and here we go. Jordan Roach in the black, taking on Luis Quiles. He is in the white and black.
Really like this progression for Roach. You know, we saw his first 2 fights. He fought fighters with, first fighter I think had 30 professional fights. Next fighter like 15 or 16 pro fights, only in his 2nd fight. Now he's fighting an undefeated guy. It's a whole different feeling to be in there with someone who doesn't know how to lose.
Yeah, you have, first you go through those savvy guys. They have maybe some upside down records. They got so much experience. You may learn some things, and you also get your feet wet in there. Now you may be fighting a guy who's just as hungry as you to go get that win. He may not have the savvy experience, but he's going to have more of a mean streak.
someone with the amateur experience of Jordan Roach, multiple-time national champion, would kind of be dismissive of a guy like Quiles. He goes, no, his fight against LeBron, that was a 2-time national champion. He got a draw against that guy. So Jordan Roach knows he's in there against a very tough young fighter.
No, I mean, Roach has been, I think he was like 16-time national champion or something crazy like that. Has a tremendous amateur background. You see how poised he is in the ring, his ability to judge distance, the use of his vision to see things coming, his awareness. You know, I love watching these high-level amateurs make their pro transition because you see them carry that skill set immediately.
Quiles had to learn on the good right hand.
Big overhand right.
As I was about to say, Chris, you talk about the technique of the amateurs, but you always say guys who have to learn on the job in the pros, they tend to hit with power because they started out in the pro ranks. You see that a little bit in Quiles.
You see that in Quiles, and also you see a guy who doesn't know how to lose, and if he's in there, he thinks he's the A side tonight. I mean, everyone's there's no B sides here, but he's coming here to win tonight.
No.
And he's got that mentality. It's going to take Roach to domesticate him a bit and let him know this is my ring.
Spent time growing up in the United States and in Puerto Rico, but Paulie, you talk about the gym wars. Quiles has been through the gym wars in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, you know, Puerto Rico, a boxing hotbed, you know, and it's a culture of boxing. So, you know, you come up in those gyms, I can't imagine there's any softy gyms there. You know, you're going to be sparring in Puerto Rico, you're gonna get the goods.
Quiles is showing some fancy footwork. He's jumping in and out, and he popped in with a good straight right hand earlier. That popped the head back of Roach. Looks like he's fighting with a lot of confidence, and he's staying nice and poised as well.
Yeah, good sense of positioning as well on both guys. Good body shot there by Roach. I think Roach would be well set up to go to the body a little bit more, as Quiles is a little bit awkward with his defense and the way he slips shots.
Let go.
You definitely see the power on Quiles. He's got some heavy hands. Lets those punches fly.
Come on.
In lethal manner.
Let go.
So already, I think this is more than Roach has missed in his first 2 fights. In this one round, Quiles doing a good job with that head movement.
Yeah, like the champ said, it's a little bit awkward. He gets really low, falls over his feet a little bit, but he's hard to hit.
Time.
Welcome back. Round number 2 about to get underway. Luis Quiles, you're looking at his corner. Competitive round number 1. Do some power punch to try to back Jordan Roach off.
Let's go, second out. Let's go.
Composed look on the face of both of those fighters.
Show me your mouthpiece.
Listen, I don't care who you are. If you're a young fighter, you're watching ProBox TV, you understand when you come in here, you're in a fight.
No cupcakes. Yep.
Both these men look extremely prepared for what they have in front of each other.
Talk about that awkward step of Quiles. He does these awkward movements. Right when you think that you got him planted, he's out of there.
Yeah, and he does a good job also of kind of slipping by staying in front of him. And that's what Roach needs to do more of there. Start to get those shots landing clean so he can get Quiles a little bit uncomfortable with being so close defensively.
That was really sharp from Roach there. You know, he landed whoa, big right hand from Quiles.
Nice roll counter there. And you see the different style as well. You see the awkwardness of Quiles' counter right hand. It was sort of a roll and a hook.
We've talked about that before, Paulie, that ability to kind of stay dangerous in the pocket, kind of roll at the right time, and Quiles has that style.
Yeah, well, you know what? Roach had a nice counter right hand himself, but it was a little. It's funny how you saw the different style of it. His was a counter and straight over the top.
Quiles is really good at those rolls and rips. He just kind of rolled with that right. He got hit a little bit, took some of the flack off that shot, and came right back with his right hand.
Jordan Roach, of course, brother of Lamont Roach. Great fighting family. He has a date with Gervonta Davis sometime this year. Of course, fought on our air ProBox TV in DC, homecoming. Jordan fighting on that card as well.
Yeah, that looks like that's going to be March 1st. Body shot there by Roach. Again, I mentioned in the first round, I think Roach will be well served to go to the body a little bit more consistently.
I like how Quiles, he went southpaw and then Roach went to the backside. He threw that right hook to the body there. Normally you would think you go with the left hand up front because you got that liver side, but that was a smart move there.
Paul, we talk about it all the time. Some guys just walk through the front door. I think Jordan now realizing I can't go through the front door. I got to use my other tactics here.
Yeah, you got to be a little bit more creative here.
A guy like Quiles, so you got to feint him because he's coming with these awkward movements. You got to see that. You got to tease that first move out of him and then look to counter the counter.
Also, one thing when serve Roach well is giving different looks, punching off a different look. Roach sort of fights out of one look. It's a disciplined look. It's a high guard look. You can see he knows how to fight. Good exchange here. But he throws punches out of the same look. He gives you the same look consistently. So eventually, a good thinking fighter starts to get that timing, starts to hone in on those targets.
But Paulie, is it about adversity bringing that out of you, right? So this look isn't working, got to do something else.
Yeah, and it's also, like I said, from the difference in the first two fights where he did fight those savvy veterans is here you don't have a savvy veteran, but what you have is a guy who's just as hungry as you. He feels like he's a prospect himself, so he's ready to give to tip for tag with anything you do.
But also we got 6 rounds here. We got both these guys with less than 4 professional fights. They're fighting in a 6-round fight, so it allows a little bit of discipline, a little bit of understanding to make those adjustments. A lot of times in 4-rounders, you don't have time to adjust. You just got to fight. But here, these guys, we can see them use some of that IQ.
They are ripping big punches at the end of round number 2.
Good scrappy fight here.
Gentlemen, if anyone thought they were going to walk away with this fight, they're wrong.
Nope. Still very much up in the air.
He looking for the rock.
There's that big overhand right there from Quiles. It was early in the round. And that was what I was talking about. That slip and rip that he does there. He rolls with that shot. That actually was beautiful because he didn't take much flack from at all. And then came right back with his right hook.
Yeah, this is a good competitive fight, guys.
Yep. Still a lot of fight left, but very competitive so far.
Saw in the beginning of the fight when they were faced off, Jordan Roach definitely having the bigger frame. He's the bigger guy. Can Quiles win this going 1-for-1, Chris? That's kind of the question, isn't it?
I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, to me, it looks like Roach has the speed advantage. Obviously, he's got the cleaner lines. He's very, very sharp. Quiles is tricky, man. He's got some nice little slick moves. A little awkward at times, but it makes it work.
Part of round number 3. He did catch Roach off balance. Big shot in round number 1. So far, neither guy really hurt, but damage starting to show on the face of the fighter from Puerto Rico, Quiles, the white, gold, and black.
The jab there by Quiles. I think either of these guys could still probably be a little bit more consistent with the jab.
Yeah, nobody has really set jab dominance yet. Good body shots.
Clash of heads there, and then Quiles kind of backed away after the clash of heads, and Roach took advantage by
protect yourself at all times, right, Paulie?
Throwing the left hook as he backed off. Might be a little cut from that clash of heads.
Got some blood over the, looks like the right eye of Quiles there. It doesn't look like a big cut, but we got some blood. Definitely a bad spot above the eyebrow.
Oh, nice right hand off the combination.
May have spurred Roach on.
Beautiful combination there. Climbed the body, came back with a big right hand that landed clean.
Nice little slip and slides there from Roach on the inside, as well as Quiles had to come with a combination. Good eye there from Roach. Although a nice counter by Quiles who keeps him honest.
Yep. Put a little more on the back foot. Didn't have the balance underneath him the way he did in round 2. Roach puts a lot of mental pressure on you. Doesn't take a step back. He's very smart on his defense, even when he's being aggressive.
Yeah, and you can see that's the amateur experience talking, you know, understanding those little subtleties.
Yep, not breaking position, keeping that pressure on you.
But you said it, Paulie, keeping him honest. It seems like every time it looks like Roach is going to take this one over, Quiles comes back with a big shot enough to back him off, or make him think about it.
And you can see that Quiles trying to hold his ground. Both guys wouldn't back off there, and they created a pretty wild exchange. Not a lot landed, but both guys still believing in themselves to be able to stay in that exchange, throwing those kind of punches.
And Quiles throwing his hands up to break. Referee did not say break, and Roach threw a punch.
Similar to the punches that Ben Johnson was throwing, a stablemate of Roach. Oh, big overhand.
Wow.
So yeah, man, you want to turn southpaw, you better be able to defend yourself. You know, that's the thing about changing stances. A lot of us can throw punches out of the same stance, out of a different stance, but can you defend out of a different stance? Nice shot there by Roach. As Quiles was turning southpaw, but
also guys who change southpaws that close, you got to do it in the right range. Quiles did not. Got hit with a big shot.
Good round here being enjoyed by Roach. Maybe his best round so far.
Yeah, Amateur from DC going at Quiles, who is showing chin to go along with his skills. He is taking some big punches, has yet to leave his feet.
Nice stab jab down low there from Roach. Smart. I like him when he catches big shots upstairs, he goes right back down to the body to build on the damage.
You see Roach now starting to use those feints as well. Really savvy stuff here. Counter there from Quiles. Quiles has to get back on that consistency. I think it starts with the lead hand.
How's the cut, okay? All right. Keep the pressure on right. When you're catching it, catch and shoot, though. Stay tight, don't.
You can see it, round number 4 about to begin. And it's been a fight that Jordan Roach starting to take over a bit in round number 3.
Yeah, that big overhand right there. You saw Quiles get caught in the southpaw position, was off balance, fell on his heels, fell back into the ropes. Legs did a little buckle.
Hey, watch the head, okay? Mouthpiece, watch it.
Roach looked to follow up. Was smart to go down to the body after that once again.
Also smart from Quiles, able to tie up, kind of get a little bit of rest and get back in it as we in round number 4, scheduled for 6. Jordan Roach in the black. His opponent from Puerto Rico, Luis Quiles, the white, gold, and black.
You know, no question, Quiles knows how to fight. He's just a little outclassed at the moment.
Adjusted very well to the roll and rip style of Quiles. Nice left hook from Roach.
Both guys rolling nice with the shots, not taking full damage in either direction, but I think the consistent body work of Roach is starting to pay dividends here.
Yeah, and that's as the rounds progress, that would be maybe a little bit of a difference maker. But Quiles trying to hold his ground here in this round. I think Roach had his best round in round 3, so it's going to be up to Quiles to try to get some momentum back here after a very competitive first 2 rounds. Roach started to take control in round 3.
Awesome. Something you said, Jimmy, the size of Roach, I think that's going to play a part too as the rounds wear on. Good body shot there with the left hand.
Gentlemen, you talk about fat on the punches. I mean, none. Jordan Roach, diet punches, just unbelievably clean.
Lean, mean.
Also, right now, breathing through his nose, composed, he's throwing clean punches, not wasting any energy.
Staying nice and calm. That comes with that big amateur background. Like you have so many rounds under your belt.
And I'm sure if their family's anything like my family, I'm not saying I used to beat up my little brother all the time, but when he's in the gym with his brother, you know he's had some tough rounds.
Well, they have a stable of tremendous talent in that gym down there. So these guys are getting great work all the time.
Ben Johnson fought earlier tonight, incredibly talented fighter.
I think Quiles also has to start trying to get to the body. He slips well. The shots to the head don't always land very cleanly. So Roach has made the adjustment to go to the body at times. And Quiles also would be set to go to the body if he could. So at this range especially.
We're also just starting to see the class separation here, and that's one thing. My first coach used to always say, everybody's got 2 rounds, kids. Everybody can fight for 2 rounds. What happens at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? That's the difference. You gotta, the class starts to show the more rounds you get.
And at times Quiles turned southpaw, but he's done nothing except get hit with right hands when he turns southpaw. Good jab. That's what I really wanted to see from Quiles. If he get back on a jab and a more consistent jab to see if he can offset the consistent pressure of Roach.
Roach, even though he's putting pressure on, he's being very deceptive with his defense and his range change. He's coming in underneath shots, still slipping, and coming with big bombs here.
End of round number 4, aggressive stuff from Jordan Roach. Iceman heating up so far in Tampa.
Single jabs. Now you just stay sharp, okay? Stay sharp, but stay on. He can't do nothing on the inside. Stay real tight. Keep chopping below. All right? You just got to stay tight. You just got to stay tight with your chin down. All right? He ready to go. You hear me? You hear me?
We'll do it after.
All right? Deep breath. You're in tremendous shape, champ. You ready to go? All right? Short your shots up so you won't overshoot.
Left nose.
Huh?
Other one.
You got it?
Sound advice, gentlemen. Can't argue with that. Stay tight. You're going to get him.
Well, you saw the coach take a hard look across the ring. Looking at Gilas as he walked back to his corner. He started to see. He's starting to waver. He said he's ready to go. He's ready to go. For a young fighter, that's a great thing to hear.
Chess, not checkers, gentlemen. And right now, Jordan Roach, who has made the better moves as we head into round number 5. Could it be checkmate? We'll see. Gilas, though, has not shown any signs of not being mentally in this fight. He hasn't yet made the agreement that, okay, I'll back off and let you win these last couple rounds. He's stepping forward, gentlemen.
Go ahead.
They told Roach in the corner he's ready to go, so Roach trying to keep that pressure on, both mental and physical. Trying to see if there's any give in Gilas.
Gilas comes back with a good right hand over the top. Has Roach off balance for a moment.
Gilas is game.
Can't question the heart of this kid. You talked about putting in 6 hard rounds when we talked to him. It's not going to be an early fight. I know I'm not going to catch this guy and put him down early. Who's got the guts in rounds 5 and 6? Well, that's where we are now.
Gilas has given a good account of himself. Landed some good shots early on, but
when Gilas uses his jab, I don't understand why he's not more consistent. When he uses his jab, he gets Roach to back off a little bit. He starts to control a little bit of the distance. He's not consistent enough with it. You know, there it is again. Anytime he uses it, it's actually a nice shot because there's not a lot of head movement on the part of Roach.
Roach is in kill mode right now. He's really just walking his man down. Trying to land big, heavy shots like that big left hook right there.
But it's about being first. Anytime Gilas is first with a jab, he actually kind of offsets anything Roach does. But once you start allowing Roach to get close and you start to allow him to get those numbers off, of course Roach's class starts to show.
Say it all the time in boxing, every combat sport, greatness shows over time. The longer it goes, the better the great ones look.
Roach doing a great job of mixing these punches up. High and low, over the top, through the middle. There's one through the middle right there, big uppercut. Looping the shots, throwing the punches straight when they need to be. Great selection here. Oh, good body shots from Gilas. Comes right back.
Said it before, every time it looks like Roach is about to take it over, Gilas shows that he's still in the fight.
That's what being game is all about.
The difference with these two guys is Gilas does it in spots, Roach does it more consistently. And that's been the difference in the fight, and it's probably going to be the difference in the result. So, you know, I mentioned more consistent jabs from Gilas. When he does use it, it's good, but he doesn't always use it. I mentioned some body shots from Gilas. You saw a couple of good body shots a few seconds back, as you mentioned, Jim. But again, it's few and far between. The consistency is more so on the part of Roach. He has better understanding of what to do and not to do to get to the win.
Absolutely. I mean, this was competitive for 2 rounds. Since then, it's been all Roach. Taking control, asserting himself, landing the bigger, heavier shots. You see the damage on the face of Gilas.
Step back, no punch. Let's go. 10 seconds.
10 seconds left to go. Round number 5. Roach aggressive yet again.
Big shot together.
Necesito que me tire. Este asalto vamos a tratar de sacar.
Another 2 or 3 shots, all right? Don't stand right in front of him, go 5, 6 shots. Get at the angle. And everything you get, come right back when you stand up. Walk him back, especially when you're on the ropes. Don't let him off the ropes.
Welcome back to the final round, round number 6. Jordan Roach versus Luis Gilas. Roach looking tight in that last round, just like his coach said.
Yeah, putting some real pressure there. You know, his coach told him, look, he's ready to go. Roach came out early testing that theory. All right, let me put some heavy lever on this guy. Let me stand in front of him a little bit. Let's see if he's really ready to go or not.
Gilas, though, that young man stood, took it, and fought back. That's why we're seeing a round number 6. Competitive first couple rounds, but as we keep saying, Jordan Roach starting to pull away that superior technique. Incredibly decorated amateur. You can see it in there tonight. Opening bout on ProBox TV. We love showing you the prospects. And when it comes to prospects, Jordan Roach said, this is going to be my year. I'm going to be the prospect you're talking about at the end of 2025. A lot of guys managed to sneak in front of me, and I don't like it. He's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder.
It's a good thing to have when you're a young fighter.
All the young bucks you're talking about, I came up with those guys in the amateur. I feel I'm better as a pro.
Oh, big shot with the left hand to the liver there. Nice dig from Roach.
Good discipline from Quiles, though. That elbow was right there.
And Quiles still firing back. I mean, again, he's a little bit outclassed, but he's been game throughout this fight. It's going to be a good experience for Roach to be in here for 6 rounds with a kid like this. Part of that maturing process, and Quiles may come out the better fighter out of this experience as well.
And also, you talk about all the time, Paulie, where you can get certain guys to kind of break form. Quiles has never broken form. He's good with the hands are high, chin down, elbows down at his ribs.
Yeah.
Roach has had to work for it.
Yeah, got a good position, as does Roach. Just the difference is Roach knows how to win a fight. Quiles still doesn't really know how to win a fight, because there was things Quiles can really latch onto to be more successful in this fight that he only did inconsistently and never recognized the consistency needed on those couple of things that he did. While Roach, with his experience through the amateurs, understands the consistency he needs to do on certain things that he needs to do. And that's been the difference in the fight.
Brother Lamont Roach is ringside. He's yelling at his little brother, urging him forward.
This is the kind of guy that don't be surprised if you see him on air.
Oh yeah,
on ProBox once again, because he is giving a good account of himself. He is trying. He's just outclassed tonight.
Technically solid, but taking on right now. Very
the right hand,
but again, jab, 1-2. If Quiles gets off first, holds his ground, and gets off even those straight punches, and then mixes in some body shots, he's successful. Because one thing to criticize with the young prospect Roach is there's no head movement there. If you shoot the shot sharp, you're gonna hit Roach. Roach there's no head movement, and he comes in from the front door.
Another
so he's
successful jab, a couple of them.
Ooh, good combination there from Roach. Again, climbing the body. 2 shots to the body, come back upstairs with the straight right hand.
Stop. Come back, go punch. Let's go.
20 seconds left to go in the 6th and final round.
Quiles earned his check tonight, man. He took a lot of damage. A very class fighter in Roach here.
10 seconds left.
10 seconds.
He's holding on a bit, but Roach wants to finish strong. Big combinations, and that is it. 6 rounds, both of these fighters very, very tough. Showing respect at the end, as they should. Roach showing his development tonight, but Quiles, you said it, Paulie, this kid came to fight.
Yeah, he did, and he was game the whole time. He tried. He was a little bit out experienced, so to speak, but he tried.
It's a guy we hope to see again here on ProBox TV. Gave it his all. Out of Puerto Rico, taking on a fighter from DC.
Yeah, I was saying, this fight started out pretty competitive. Round 1 and 2, we saw some nice shots from Quiles over the top there. We saw overhand right. These guys were very much back and forth, nip-tuck throughout those first 2 rounds. Both guys coming back and forth with big shots. But by round 3, you saw the class of Roach just rise to the occasion. Started ripping the body shots, very consistent throughout, changing levels, and from then on, it was all Roach. Rounds 3, 4, 5, 6. Clean work there, big overhand right. That had Quiles in some trouble. The only time we really saw him where he was wobbled tonight, but he took damage throughout. Head and body, Roach very much in control. Getting hit with some shots here and there, but few and far between as the rounds wore on, and it really came down to all Roach down the stretch.
Didn't know if we'd see a round number 6, but Quiles staying strong, trying to answer back. As you said, outclassed. Never gave up on his belief.
Ton of guts, ton of grit, but outclassed tonight.
Yeah, Lupe Contreras, first fight of the night, make it official.
After completing the distance of 6 rounds, all 3 judges are in complete agreement. Turning identical scores of 60-54 después de completar las 6 vueltas, los 3 jueces están de acuerdo con tarjetas idénticas de 60-54. Los 3 a favor del vencedor por decisión unánime, all 3 in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision, the Iceman, Jordan Rose.
Every single round on the judges' scorecards, but it doesn't mean they were all easy rounds. Quiles in it in the beginning for sure, gentlemen.
Yeah, I thought the first couple of rounds were pretty competitive.
But still Roach's rounds.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with Roach winning all of them, but I thought the first couple of rounds, the fight still hung on the balance. You started to see the class of Roach start to show in round 3 and separate himself, and you could see that then at that point, it was more of a Roach fight.
Yeah, it's one of those things where the scorecard doesn't necessarily tell the whole story of the fight. Quiles certainly in it early, but a great step for Jordan Roach, his brother Lamont following him backstage. Great performance. Well, Naji Lopez backstage right now. Our main event with Jim Sorensen.
Hey guys, I am backstage here with the champ Naji Lopez, 13-0, amazing number of knockouts. Naji, you have a tough guy in front of you tonight. Lenin Castillo is definitely a seasoned professional. He's been in the ring with some of the biggest, toughest guys around. Tell me what's going through your head.
Just go out there and shine. Just go out there and show the fans and the people that support me that I belong at the top. That's it.
No question. Absolutely, you belong at the top. You've seen Castillo fight. Are you prepared in a specific way? What do you think he's going to bring at you?
Just the experience. Nothing I haven't seen before. And then my preparation, just go out there, just listen to my team, just knowing we did what we had to do in camp to prepare for the fight.
Well, that's fantastic. I know that you, listen, I know that you're here. I know you were training 100% of the time. You were never out of the gym. You feel physically ready?
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely. So tell me about this. You were also fighting for the first time tonight for regional belt. Are you excited about that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the, that's the goal. Like, just keep pushing up the ranks. Just keep, trying to be at the top of the division. So this is another step to that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Naji. We're looking forward to seeing you and Lenin Castillo in the ring later tonight. Back to you guys.
And that's our main event. Naji Lopez taking on Lenin Castillo. Castillo 25-6-1, 19 KOs. He's taking on some of the best in the world. But you look at Naji Lopez there, he's looking relaxed and confident, as you would expect from a guy who has 12-0, 9 knockouts. Stay tuned for that main event here on ProBox TV. But coming up next, that's right, it is Ariel Golden Hulk Perez versus Chino Hill. Talk about local support. Perez has that in spades. Check out the Golden Hulk when we come back.
At the Boeing Center in San Antonio. In the main event, San Antonio's own future world champ Ramon Cardenas takes on one of the most exciting young super bantamweight fighters emerging from Mexico, Brian Acosta. And in the co-main, Guatemalan sensation Lester Martinez looks to continue his win streak against the king of upsets, Joshon James.
You hear those screams? That's right. They're for Ariel Golden Hulk Perez. I'm sorry, Golden Hulk Perez, right?
I was literally going to say right before. Golden Hulk's one of the most interesting names. One of the most interesting names I've seen in a boxer, but Golden Hulk's even better.
Even better. Golden Hulk. That's right. Ariel Perez waving to his fans, taking on Chino Hill. Take a look at the tail of the tape for these young men. 32 years old is Ariel Perez. Chino Hill only 28, but Chino Hill has a height advantage and the reach advantage in this one. Perez weighing in just a little bit heavier. Will the crowd carry Perez? That's the question. Lupe, get us going.
From the ProBox Event Center, Tampa, Florida, this is ProBox TV. The action being presented to you by Bet Online. along with Wild Casino. This contest, 6 rounds in the light heavyweight division. Este encuentro, 6 vueltas en la división peso semi-completo. Los jueces son, the judges are Shammy Shipman, Harold Hunt, and Michael Ross. Introducing the fighter in the blue corner, presentando la esquina azul, vestido de morado, con dorado y blanco. He steps in wearing purple with gold and white trim. He weighed in officially at 174.5 pounds sobre la báscula. Marcó un peso oficial de 174 libras y media en su 19º combate a nivel profesional, con 8 victorias, 8 derrotas, 2 empates y 6 de sus victorias por la vía del cloroformo. Tonight, he enters the ProBox TV ring for the 19th time as a pro, with 8 victories against 8 losses, 2 bouts even, and 6 of those victories coming by way of KO. From Davenport, Iowa, Chino TSA Hill. In the red corner, en la esquina roja, vestido de morado con color dorado, he steps in wearing purple with gold trim. He weighed in at 177.5 pounds. Detuvo la báscula a un peso oficial de 177 libras y media. Esta noche sube al cuadrilátero de ProBox TV invicto a nivel profesional, con 5 victorias, 4 de sus victorias por la vía del knockout. Tonight, he enters the ProBox TV ring an undefeated professional with 5 victories, 4 of his victories coming by way of KO. Ripping Tampa, Florida, Ariel Golden Hope Perez. Our referee, Christopher Young.
Red corner, blue corner. All right, champ, listen, your truck's a little high, so everything up here I'm going to consider legal. You see instruction? He's good right here. He's good right here. Okay, you see instruction? Expect to have a clean fight, but you make commands all the time, take yourself all the time. Touch him up, get back. Good, good.
Well, that's set to go. Round number 1. Look at there, Golden Hulk, Ariel Perez. 5-0, 4 knockouts. Chino Hill. We are underway. Hill, we talked about the height and reach advantage. Can he use it?
We've actually had both these guys on our air in the past. But Chino Hill actually fought Darrelle Valsaint. Has been in with a number of top prospects from all over the country.
Yeah, he's pretty savvy. You know, Hulk is a strong local fighter, but you could see some things that, you know, again, par for the course for a prospect like him. You know, things he hasn't seen yet. You can already see the clash of styles here. As Hulk is a bit stiff, looking for those big shots, while Hill is a bit more athletic. But you see a nice hook there from Hulk.
One thing about judging is, man, when the crowd screams every time you throw something, doesn't matter if it lands. A lot of times the judges think so. Keep that in mind.
He'll wait a little bit too much. If he's gonna use that athleticism, he should probably be first on that jab a little bit more. He's thinking a little bit too much of the size and strength of Hulk. Hulk was like a big, strong guy in there.
Yeah, we had Hulk on our air for the
Castillo
Orlando
show.
Yep, and he scored a big knockout in the 2nd round there. You know, but Chino Hill, he is savvy. You can see it. He's using some feints in there. I agree with you, Champ. I'd like to see him get a little busier. Yeah. He's got the reach advantage, the speed advantage, obviously the experience advantage. But
nice left hook.
Yeah, if you use that lead hand against. See, Hulk is a little stiff. He's gonna have to loosen up a little bit. Maybe it's just that it's the 1st round, but Hill has something he can work off with that jab, that athletic jab. He can be consistent with it. Hulk, on the other hand, is gonna have to start to try to cut the ring down and then take away the spacing from Hill. And make Hill uncomfortable so that he doesn't get off first.
And you can see some of the class from Chino Hill. You know, the guy's 8-8-2. Obviously, his record is not very good, but he can fight. He knows what he's doing in there, and you can see him the way he moves around that ring, picking his spots. Very, very dangerous 8-2 fighter.
One of the things we have seen, though, he does have a tendency, Chris, to corner himself. You see him right there, going to the ropes, going straight back against Perez, who might be limited, but certainly a big puncher. That's not the best strategy, going backwards.
That's where you specifically do not want to be against Perez, is against the ropes. That's where he scored his big knockout in the last fight. He's a big, strong guy. He's got good overhand rights, good left hooks. If you pin yourself against the ropes, that's where he likes to work.
And you're going to see Perez.
Nice push-off punch there with Perez.
Perez is going to look to get into the front door. There's no frills with him. He's trying to get into the front door, trying to power his way through. So it's going to be very important for Hill to try to use that jab, while Perez He's going to want to use those big shots, but he needs to close the gap, and he doesn't really have a creative way of closing the gap. Look at him. He's just going to try to walk straight in.
Oh, nice straight right hand to the heart. Nice heart punch from Perez. Oh, comes right back to Pacino Hill with the right hand to the body as well, and a left hand.
You saw that was a little bit of a change of gear from Perez with that right hand to the heart. And you see already it surprised Hill a little bit. Perez, you don't expect a lot of creativity from him, so when he gives it to you, he has an ability to surprise Hill, and I think that should be something that should stay in the mind of Perez as he comes out for round
But
two.
he's physically strong and he can punch, so if he gets a little savvy, it can go a long way.
Exactly, and I think that right hand to the heart was a good point you made, Champ, because if he shows that if he's thinking a little bit, Hill is not going to expect any creativity. Maybe he'll land something big off of a little bit of creativity.
Yeah, if he threw it upstairs, would have missed. Yeah. But he threw it down low, so it landed good. This is that double left hook from Pacino Hill there that had Perez thinking twice about this guy's 8-8 record.
Because Hill, I just think if Hill can win these rounds with one hand if he plays it smart and if he's busy enough and if he's diversified enough with his lead hand. I think he has the talent to do that. I don't know. I don't see him having the mentality to do it though. Because Perez is, for me, he waits a little bit too long on the outside. He tries to come in through that front door, but let's see how they adjust in round two.
And even though Hill has been stopped, he's only been stopped by the best of the best prospects out there. So he is more solid than his record tells you.
On the way, round number 2. Perez in the black, purple, and gold. Chino Hill in the purple, white, and gold. Nice right hand from Hill.
Yeah, you see how Hill spun around? He spun his man, went back to the ropes, let his hands go. It's, again, another veteran tactic. Oh, nice counter there from Perez.
Good counter there from Perez. But even Perez, you see, he backed off. A nice counter, nice shot. Why is he backing off? He should be able to be the one to keep that distance close because he's the one that doesn't want Hill at center ring. Not sure why he backed off after winning that counter right hand.
Hill's staying nice and relaxed on the outside, seeing what's in front of him. This fight could get very interesting as the rounds go on.
Round 2 of a 6-round fight. Another good jab from Hill. Chino Hill at 6 foot. Talk about Paulie, maybe that educated lead hand could certainly win him some rounds, if not the fight. He stays behind it.
There's that power from Perez. Nice left hook. Shook Pacino Hill, and another right hand on the ear there. Nice chopping shot.
You know, Chris, you and I talk about it all the time. The definition of a heavy-handed is doesn't have to be pretty, doesn't have to land perfectly, and can knock you back. You see Perez with some clubbing shots, but they move Hill back.
He's just a physically strong guy. You can see him using his body right now, and he puts that weight behind his shots, and you can see he makes that heavy effect when they land.
Certainly making a Chino Hill uncomfortable. But when he jabs, he does well.
Yeah,
Chino Hill.
Sharp jab right down the middle, splits the guard, sets things up, keeps. Ooh!
Oh! Right hand from Hill.
They actually traded right hands there, but Hill's was better.
Yeah, it was Hill.
Oh!
Nice hook there. Hook right hand.
Perez trying to get it in with short punches. Big shots from the Golden Hulk. 1 minute left in round number 2.
Good exchange. Nice sidestep there from Perez. That's what you want to see more of.
Perez is impressing me tonight. He's showing some moves I didn't think he had in his pocket, but they're coming out.
He's got a game guy in front of him. He's going to have to do some thinking, and he's shown that here in the last 30 seconds.
Fight your way out of that. Let him go, Blue.
Hill's corner calling for combinations.
Leave it to ProBox TV to make a competitive fight with a guy who's 8-8. If you're betting at home, how do you bet these fights? You can't.
You bet online. Which way you go with this one. Perez starting to turn it on, and back comes Chino Hill.
Yeah, whenever Pacino Hill's back against the ropes, Perez goes to work. Back and forth between these two. Oh! Big right hand.
To end round number 2.
You ain't got to trade with him. I know he get a shot. Like you said, you won't got to rush. You won't got to rush. It's coming. Everything you putting out there is coming clean. You hitting him, all right? Relax. You don't got to go toe-to-toe with this dude. You got to rush. Stay sharp. You got to stay sharp. Absolutely. You got to stay sharp. Keeping them hands back up. After you...
Round number 3 ready to get underway. It heated up at the end of round number 2 between Ariel Golden Hulk Perez and Chino Hill. This is what happened.
Both guys landed good right hands there. Perez looked like he landed like a little bit of a forearm there. But Chino came right back with a beautiful shot. Bang, and that was at the end of the round as well. A nice short right hand. Perez took that one better.
It could become a little bit of a battle of attrition here to see who takes control of this fight.
I think conditioning is going to matter a lot. Both guys are taking each other's punches pretty well, but I think a lot of it's going to come down to who's got more in the gas tank as these rounds wear on.
And also who mentally wants to win the fight, right?
I think both these guys really want to win.
We begin round number 3. If you hear the screaming and yelling, it's for Ariel Perez, Golden Hulk. A lot of fan support. He is from here in Tampa.
The crowd has been on their feet since round 1.
Every time he lands, this place erupts.
I remember the last fighter meetings we had when Chino Hill was fighting Darrelle Valsaint. Very confident guy. He knew that he had the skills, and we're seeing it on display here. A little outclassed that night, or very outclassed against Blast, but here, having a good account of himself.
You like to see a little bit of a change of look here on the way in from Perez. Honestly, I could probably use a change of look even from Hill on the defensive side. Both guys have seemed to, now after a few rounds, you know, you would expect a little bit of an adjustment as far as a change of look is concerned. Neither guy has done that.
Well, probably that's another thing. I mean, we're just coming off a fight where Jordan Roach looked fantastic. And it's one of those guys who have that amateur pedigree. He's got a big toolkit. These guys, you see the difference.
Yeah, not so much.
But I also think, you know,
nice uppercut, good right hand.
Good shot selection there from Hill on the inside.
There's a nice lead uppercut with a right hook and then a double right hand.
But nobody's taken this fight by the horns yet. You know what I mean? Like, there's shots that have landed on both sides, but neither guy commits to stepping on the gas a little bit. You see Perez is doing it now a little bit. Let's see if Hill can fight him off, if he stops, or if he continues to try to insert that mental pressure.
Paulie, I was about to ask you about that. It seems like when either guy gets hurt, the other guy kind of admires his work more than going
after. Yeah, I mean, it's all like a round or two ago where Perez landed a big shot, and then he himself took himself back to the center of the ring instead of staying out with the pressure. Neither guy asserts and stays with the pressure, with the dominance, so to speak.
Champ, you made a great point in that last fight, saying that he didn't know how to win. He doesn't know how to win. Neither one of these guys really know how to win, how to assert themselves. You know, Perez has had a pretty easy, so far in his career, knocking guys out. But Chino Hill has not had it easy at all. He's been having trouble getting wins.
He's not used to getting wins, right?
No,
he's not used to having to try to win.
He's not used to being in a position where he can actually get the win. Both guys in unfamiliar territory at the moment. Really want to see who's going to be able to take the bull by the horns here, get ahead and stay ahead. Because it's really there for both men.
Yeah,
it's competitive, but both of these guys can step ahead and stay in control.
This round very, very hard to score. 10 seconds left.
One little sharp 1-2 there from Perez may make the difference there.
Perez is showing a pretty good gas tank from what I'm seeing so far.
Move. He's tired, but you're still letting him kind of, be more of a stalker on the club. Right, just stick and move. Don't catch nothing, all right? You can get him. Stay on his right side. Stay on it. He's trying to aim for that one, you know what I'm saying? He's trying to...
We're halfway through our 6-round fight. First one of 2025, but next time, Saturday, February 8th, we're headed to San Antonio, Texas. Ramon Cardenas, 25-1. His opponent, Brian Acosta, 20-0. Like the winter cold here, we are moving into Texas. Nothing is stopping us. Lester Martinez versus Joe Sean James, a battle of undefeated fighters. That is going to be great. Back here to Tampa, you are looking at the local boy, Ariel Golden Hulk Perez. He's in the black, purple, and gold. And Chino Hill in the purple, white, and gold. What has been a very competitive fight so far. As you said, Paulie, neither guy really taking the bull by the horns. They both had their moments.
Yeah, and I saw Hill's corner telling him to stick and move, but I actually don't necessarily agree with that, because Perez is actually so slow that you can, sort of thread the distance and hold your ground a little bit off that jab, and never really let Perez get to close range and sort of establish a jab. But if you're sticking and moving, you're letting the pressure fighter, sort of get momentum coming forward, and it's you that never gets anything going besides just a little flicking jab. And that's really Perez's only chance, if he can stay on the front foot and come forward. If you prevent Perez from coming forward by using a deceptive jab and having him overthink, he risks getting stuck in the mud.
Also, as we like to point out, Paulie, judges judge who's moving forward. It's easy to see when a butcher block like Perez is moving forward, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a tank. He's coming forward.
You see a lot of times Hill is athletic, but he's trying to jab and run away at the same time. Yeah. There's moments where you have to sort of sit on that jab and snap it in there, especially when you're athletic. There's a nice one, but again, I feel like he's over moving. It may still work, because Perez is
well, he's listening to his corner at least.
It's stuck in the mud, but the thing is, you're burning more energy than you need to at times.
Well, if you remember, the best combination that Chino Hill landed tonight was the very first round. He threw a double jab, a right hand, and a double left hook, landing 2 beautiful shots.
What you'd like to see from Perez is probably a bit of cutting off of the ring, because if Hill's going to impose this kind of style, then Perez coming forward may not always do it. You like to see him cut off the ring a little bit, so he can cut off the avenues of escape.
Perez trying to load one big shot. Saw it there. When Hill throws combinations, does very well, especially with the lead hook.
When he starts with the jab, especially, he's very difficult to deal with. He has the athleticism. He's tall. He's long. But this is where Perez needs to make ground up when he gets Chino Hill against the ropes.
I think Hill needed a little bit of a rest. He's been bouncing all around and intelligently smothered there.
But having a very good round is Hill.
Yeah, and he just used that jab to back up Perez. At times, you're going to have to do that. Nice hook there from Hill. Very good round from Hill.
Listen to his corner.
Ten seconds left to go. Will we see another flurry from Perez? Maybe stolen the last round with the combination.
This is Hill's best round, guys.
That was pretty dominant. That was the most dominant round of the fight.
Yeah, for sure. Round number 4 comes to a close, and the man who fought Chino Hill, Darrelle Valsaint, coming up next, trying to add to his undefeated record against a fighter from Holland, Steven Danyo. Awkward style, will that be enough to overcome the physical talent of Darrelle Valsaint?
And like I said, you got to get used to throwing 3 or 4 to get you into the right position.
In the corner of Perez, corner of Hill right in front of us.
One step forward,
I want to see movement. Round number 5 scheduled for 6. Chino Hill looks like he still has energy, but will he use it in these last 2 rounds?
Well, he used a lot of energy last round, Jimmy. He was bouncing around all night long, all round long, popping that jab, just like his corner wanted him to. And again, very good round, but a lot of energy expended.
Round number 5 underway.
Oh, what an exchange.
Yeah. Talk about staying in the center, Paulie, and knowing when to exchange.
And neither one of those guys wanted to break position there, and they were just firing with right hands.
That was a smart shot there from Hill. Going to the body of the big, strong Perez.
Especially after an exchange. Nice stab jab as well.
Let's see what Perez is able to do here to adjust. He found himself a little bit stuck in the mud last round. He's going to have to cut the ring down here. As Hill now talking his corner. That's how comfortable he's getting. He's talking his corner and boxing on his toes.
His corner had told him, don't let him even touch you. And I think right there, you got hit with a shot that he really didn't need to.
See that rough around the edges style of Chino Hill? As you said, champ, getting hit with a shot that had that hand low, a little closer than he thought he was.
Yeah, and Perez, it's up to Perez here to start to step on the gas a little bit. He's got the crowd behind him. They're trying to spur him on.
Chino Hill saying, come get it.
I think Hill expended a lot of energy last round. Isn't going to move as much this round. He's going to stand his ground. But this is where Perez can take it back. Perez is pretty explosive, man. That was a nice right hand there.
Strafing right hand, moving and punching at the same time.
Chopping right hand from Perez. The Golden Hulk.
Sorry you didn't take that nickname, Paulie. Golden Hulk was there.
Yeah,
was there.
Yeah, it was there. I don't know if it would have matched me. I wasn't much of a Hulk.
He was the Bensonhurst Hunk, if you don't remember. That was Paulie's nickname.
Nice combination there.
Golden Hulk moving forward.
Hill with a nice combination. With Perez trying to bring it forward. A nice shot there by Perez as Hill goes straight back.
This has been a much better round for Perez. Landing some big shots here. Hill is standing his ground, and it's not really helping him.
Perez thought one shot would get him out of here. He is very much mistaken.
I'd said that from the top, you know, Jimmy, with Hill. He's been stopped a bunch of times, but only by top-flight prospects. Guys like Darrelle Valsaint.
Good right from Hill again. Smothers himself, unfortunately, up against the ropes. Perez trying to fight his way out, and he does.
Crowd is electric right now.
It is deafening in here, gentlemen.
Yeah, you can see Perez, a big ticket seller locally.
Yep.
The crowd is trying to spur him on.
You see Hill.
He's bringing a lot of pressure.
Hill's breathing very heavy this round.
Bringing the pressure as we head into the final round. I think Hill thinks it's over.
Inside the ProBox Event Center, one more to go. This is the sixth and final round.
I just want to make this clear. This is round number 6. This is a 6-round fight. Hill walked to the other corner, threw his hands up, hugged Perez. He thought it was over, gentlemen.
It ain't over.
Not.
And Perez's corner was like, bro, get out of here. We're trying to talk to our charge. It was a good end to the round, though. The thing is, did Hill expend the last of his energy thinking that he had no rounds left?
He definitely looked a little concerned going back to the corner when he saw that there was another round.
Gentlemen, I don't know which fight it was. Somebody online could tell me. George Foreman was told by his corner that it was the last round because they thought he wasn't doing enough, and he was furious when he found out there was one more round to go. We'll see what happens here. Forget who it was. This is round number 6.
That's why I like ring club girls. You can just check them between rounds.
Yeah, that's why you like ring car girls, Paulie? Come on.
One of many. We happen to have the best ring girls, I think.
Yeah,
we do.
Hands down.
Golden Hulk, Perez, here in Tampa, taking the center of the ring. The question, gentlemen, Chino Hill, the purple, white, and gold, did he expend too much energy in previous rounds with his footwork? Does he have enough left to finish strong? He'll probably need it.
I think Hill needs to go for it here. This is, you know, he had a good round 2 rounds ago. Last round, I thought it was pretty easy to score for Perez. You know, he landed some big shots. Hill stood in front of him, took too many punches.
Is Hill going to try to win this last round? You see Perez
Does he know how, Paulie? Does he know how?
You see Perez is trying to bring the pressure.
And Hill just looked at his corner, almost like, how much time is left? He's boxing like he has this one in the bag.
Yeah, it does seem like that, right? It seems like he thinks that he just needs to get to the end, and he's got it. But I don't see it like that. I think he needs this last round for sure.
I think any neutral observer would say this has been a comparatively close fight.
Hard rounds to score. Both guys have had their moments, and no one, as we've been saying all night long, has been able to really take the reins and assert themselves except for the last 2 rounds.
6-round fight, you cannot afford to take a round off, period.
Ooh, good shots on the inside by Perez.
Good short left to end that.
Too much waiting even from Perez. Even from Perez, you'd like to see some jabs there. It doesn't have to be at the athletic jab that Hill does, but there's opportunities for Perez to also stick that a stiff jab in Hill's face as Hill is just kind of floating around, not really looking to be active.
Champ, maybe Have you seen a jab from Perez tonight? I haven't really seen a single jab tonight.
No, not many, but, you know, there's opportunity for him.
I say, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember any jabs from Perez tonight. Oh, there's one.
Excuse you, Chris. There was a jab right there.
Right on cue.
But it's been mostly power punches from Ariel Perez. He has certainly taken the real estate in round number 6.
Yeah, Perez is just asserting himself, you know, just letting those hands go in combination. Not even huge shots anymore, but he's being busy. He's being physical, pressing the action. Now he's even bouncing.
He's certainly feeling it, gentlemen. 10 seconds left in this 6-round fight. And the chance of Golden Hulk ringing throughout this arena. And they throw till the end.
Nice. Good fight.
Excellent fight. Chino Hill gave it everything he had. So did the Golden Hulk. Ariel Perez gave his hometown crowd a show tonight. Gentlemen, he's certainly fun, Ariel Perez, right? We see some holes in his game. He's going to have to fill to get to that next level.
He's fun. He brings in the crowd. I mean, he gets everybody hyped. Keep matching him the right way. We got more entertaining nights along the route.
And as you said, built like a tank. Always coming forward, has a very entertaining style. Have to see what the judges have to say about it, but this was the action from the fight, gentlemen.
I mean, this is a barn burner throughout. These guys evenly matched, super competitive. Back and forth action throughout the early rounds. Would not want to be a judge tonight. I was having too much fun watching the fight to really score it. I thought Perez did enough, especially towards the end of the fight. The last 2 rounds really poured it on, but I mean, until then, Chino Hill showing his class, landed some big shots early on, had Hulk in trouble a couple times, but Hulk kept coming back.
But back at the gym, Paulie, after this fight, would you tell Perez, look, you got to get on guys when you get them off balance?
You got to get on guys. I think you got to learn to cut the ring off a little bit more, because if you're not going to have that explosive first step and in order to close the gap, then you're going to have to be more subtle with your pressure. And I think cutting off the ring is one of those ways where you can make the pressure subtle but effective.
And Perez, to your point, Chris, finishing strong in round number 6.
Yeah, 5 and 6 were both good rounds for Perez. That pressure really got to Hill.
Lupe Contreras, make it official.
After going 6 rounds inside the ProBox TV ring, judges Ross and Shipman turn in identical scores of 59-55 después de completar las 6 vueltas. Los jueces Ross y Shipman entregan tarjetas idénticas de 59-55. Y el juez Hunt anotó 58-56. Judge Hunt scores it 58-56. All in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision. Los tres a favor del vencedor por decisión unánime. From Tampa, Florida, the Golden Hulk,
to 6-0, 4 knockouts on his career, and this crowd in Tampa could not be happier. He said, we see the gaps and things he needs to work on, but man, he's entertaining, and for that build, for that style, he had the gas for those last 2 rounds.
And that's what I was impressed about. He looks like the kind of guy who's going to falter as the rounds wore on. He didn't. He actually came on strong in the last 2 rounds. That was the most impressive thing that I saw from the Hulk tonight.
Yeah, physically moved forward, threw in good combinations.
I think he showed he wanted to win the fight. That's the thing, when you have an 8-8 record, a lot of times you're not willing to dig in a little bit when you're uncomfortable to get the win. While you're undefeated, you're willing to push that extra edge just to try to keep that undefeated record. And I think that ended up being the difference in the fight in the last rounds or 2.
Who wants it? Who's hungry? Turned out the Golden Hulk certainly hungry tonight here in Tampa in front of the hometown crowd. You see that Buccaneers tattoo showing his local love. He's always going to pack it here, but another talented fighter that the crowd is looking forward to. Darrelle Valsaint, undefeated, looking for that bounce-back fight after a no contest. He is hungry tonight.
What's going on? It's your boy Darrelle Valsaint, a.k.a. Blast, and I'm here at the ProBox headquarters. I'm trying to kick down doors, man. I'm trying to make a lot of noise in my division. And I'm just trying to man the air, but they gonna see. So I'm really one of them ones, man. Y'all gonna see. Y'all gonna see. That's all I'm gonna say. Y'all gonna see. Just a seasoned young veteran, explosive, very smart, very just all around. You gonna see it. ProBox does a great job with matching us up with great opponents, tough opponents, and to get us going, to get us, to get our feet wet. And I'm fighting a 12-0 fighter, and I'm excited. I'm ready to get that under my belt and move on to the next 2025 champion mentality for sure.
You got technique? Do you have confidence? Do you believe in everything you can do? Well, that's definitely Darrelle Valsaint. He's taking on a very experienced fighter coming up next tonight here on ProBox TV. Darrelle Valsaint, Stephen Danyo. Can the young buck overcome the European experience? We're going to find out right after this. Stay with us.
The Boeing Center in San Antonio. In the main event, San Antonio's own future world champ Ramon Cardenas takes on one of the most exciting young super bantamweight fighters emerging from Mexico, Brian Acosta. And in the co-main, Guatemalan sensation Lester Martinez looks to continue his win streak against the king of upsets, Joshon James.
Welcome back into ProBox TV. Jimmy Smith, ringside, as always, alongside the champs, Chris Algieri, Paulie Malignaggi. Let's face it, gentlemen, a big night, not just for the boxers, but for ProBox TV. You have Valsaint, you have Naji Lopez, you have Jeremiah Milton in the last 3 fights of the night. These are all big prospects. Usually, it's cupcake time, right? Not tonight for these guys. That's not how ProBox TV works. If I'm Gary Jonas right now, I'm sitting there nervous. I got to be honest.
Yeah, I'm looking at him right now. He looks like he's very intent on what's going on. I think we all are. I think that's the way that our CEO Gary Jonas likes to have his prospects. He likes everybody to be on edge, everybody to be uncomfortable, so they perform at their best.
Right. That's why he's always texting you in the middle of fights, Paulie. Just keep you on edge. Keep you honest. Same thing with the fighters tonight.
Get off your phone.
Why are you looking at your phone? Because you're texting me, that's why.
Well, fighting is like riding a motorcycle, right? You can't get text, you're dead. so you got to be full on, 100% focus in the ring. And I think Gary Jonas likes to get his prospects, the prospects signed to this network. I think he likes to get them on edge like that. I think he likes to make them feel during camp. It's that heat, that pressure. I think, he made a good point when he likes to say that if you give a prospect guys who are consistently an opponent whose level's below him, he doesn't have that edge when he's training every day. There's not that same motivation. You got to feel like you're going somewhere, and the way you feel like you're going somewhere is your level of opposition keeps getting raised. And the more impressive you can look as they raise your level of opposition, the closer you're going to get to championship level. If you start to struggle at a certain level, I can remember when I was a prospect, I was like, I got to dominate all my levels of opposition. If I struggle, then they will not let me keep raising my level of opposition, and I'm not going to get closer to the championship level. And there's the big man right there, Gary Jonas.
He's trying right now not to look nervous, but when you look at Darrelle Valsaint, who's coming up next, undefeated prospect, coming off the fight with Angel Ruiz, that was a clash of heads, the first no contest of his career. We're all interested to see how he bounces back. We're talking about the main event. It is Naji Lopez versus Lenin Castillo, a huge name versus the undefeated prospect, the guy who put it all together, Gary Jonas. What are his thoughts? Well, he'll tell you. Just ask him.
Putting Najee in like that, that's a big test for him. So I know a lot of people down in Plant City are nervous. I like to make them nervous. I feel like if I make managers, promoters, and fighters very nervous, the fans are going to win. I'm going to put you in really tough, and you have an opportunity to ascend to what I think is probably the top late-stage prospect in boxing at 175. That's the reason for Lenin Castillo, and I think it's going to be quite a test for Najee.
You know, what's the mindset between, you know, that kind of joking idea that you're trying to get these guys beat?
Well, I mean, there's truth in jest. I mean, I am at a certain point, once a prospect gets into the 3rd or 4th year, double digits in later stage, I am trying to get them beat, and I hope I fail. I find that when a fighter spends 3-4 years fighting guys that are well beneath his level, the fighter knows that. I mean, he really deep in his heart, he knows. And therefore, there's no intensity level. There's no fear. He goes through training camp, which goes through the whole year walking, right? He's not nervous. He's not focused. Athletes need to be challenged. That's what brings out the best in them. So I believe it's part of their development. I may be alone in this. I know some people get uptight and some people say, I'm going to get my guys beat and you're going to get someone beat. But, you know, I haven't really beaten anybody yet. So this is my way of really keeping Najee uncomfortable and hoping that it makes him a better fighter in the end. And I think actually Najee will perform better against someone like that. I think his size, his length, his speed. I think Najee reminds me a little bit of a LeBron James on the basketball court is in the boxing ring. Even though he's big, he's quick. He can do the things that little men can do. He puts his hands together really well. So he's got a blend of all those skill sets. And I think it's just a question of Najee learning how to use those skills to dominate rounds, which means dominate a fight.
The most important words for a champion, and he's fast and quick and technical and confident and young. That is definitely Darrelle Valsaint. You see him in the ring, undefeated in his young career, 11-0-1. And that one no contest was last time out against Angel Ruiz. Very disappointing. What do the numbers tell us? The tale of the tape, Darrelle Valsaint taking on Steven Daniel. Daniel from the Netherlands. Valsaint is taller, reach exactly the same. They weighed in very, very similar, 0.4 pounds difference. The age, Steven Daniel, 35 years old and much more experience. Lupe Contreras, make it official, get us started.
We continue here at the ProBox Event Center, Tampa, Florida. This is ProBox TV, the action being brought to you by Bet Online and Wild Casino. This contest, 10 rounds or less in the super welterweight division. Este combate pactado a 10 vueltas en la división peso super welter. Los jueces son, the judges are Braden Jackson, Shammy Shipman, and Harold Hunt. Presenting the blue corner, he enters wearing silver trunks, presentando la esquina azul, vestido de color plateado, su peso oficial, 155 libras y media, his official weight, 155.5 pounds, and 32 bouts as a pro. He maintains a record of 23 victories against 6 losses, 3 bouts even, 8 of his victories coming by way of KO en 32 combates a nivel profesional. Mantiene un récord de 23 victorias, 6 derrotas, 3 empates y 8 de sus victorias por la vía del knockout. Fighting out of Rotterdam, the Netherlands, the chosen one, Steven Daniel. Across the ring in the red corner, wearing black with silver trim en la esquina opuesta, vestido de negro con color plateado. He tipped the scales at a cut-up 155.25 pounds. Detuvo la báscula a un peso oficial de 155 libras y un cuarto. Y esta noche sube el cuadrilátero de ProBox TV, buscando mantenerse invicto en 11 combates profesionales. 9 de sus victorias por la vía del knockout tonight. He enters the ProBox TV ring looking to remain undefeated with 11 victories. 9 of his victories coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Orlando, Florida, Darrelle Valsaint. Our referee, Emil Lombardi.
All right, guys, let's go. All right, we know the rules in the dressing room, all right? Expect a good, clean fight out of both of you. Pay close attention to my commands. Protect yourself at all times. Touch them up, wait for the bell.
Ramon Deckers, Ernesto Hoost, Remy Bonjasky. I know you know those names, Chris, because you were a kickboxer. Some of the best kickboxers in the world are Dutch. Steven Daniel says, I'm going to try to put boxing on the map for Holland. Can he do it tonight?
He's going to need to put on an incredible performance like those legends that you mentioned in order to beat the very talented Valsaint tonight.
Holland also had a very good boxing world champion. He used to spar him when he was in New York, Regilio Toro.
Yep.
Olympic bronze medalist in 1988. And WBO World Super Featherweight champion in the pros. Probably howling for a small country. It's had some good fighters.
That's outstanding. Won't even get into MMA, but right now when you look at Daniel, he has that European style. Stands pretty tall, kind of awkward, a little bit flat-footed, but he can catch you if you're not paying attention.
No, absolutely. He's very classy in the way that he approaches. You can see him now. He's very defensively aware. Hands in good position. Another nice jab on Valsaint early on.
Yeah, guys with those kind of veteran records, experience, they're typically not going to look to start fast. They usually let the prospect start fast and see what they got, and then from there they'll see if there's mistakes they could take advantage of. It'll be up to Valsaint to try to, keep that pressure on Daniel and not let him get comfortable.
Nice hard feint there from Valsaint to try and break the position on the veteran.
Daniel said, he goes, I'm used to being the road warrior. I've fought in France. I fought all over Europe. He was a European champion as a professional. I'm always coming into hostile territory, so that means nothing to me coming in comparatively late notice to take this guy on.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You don't expect him to try to start fast. He's not going to be in a rush. He's going to try to see if things open up a little bit.
He also seemed super calm all week walking around campus. He's been here, not worried about being on the road, like you said, Jimmy. But he's got someone in front of him with fantastic physical capabilities.
Body shot there by Valsaint. It's going to be up to Valsaint to open up a lot of the things. I don't expect Daniel to give him a lot besides that jab.
Another thing is, of course, Blas Valsaint, we've interviewed him. He's been antsy, to say the least, to get back in after the Angel Ruiz fight. Clash of heads led to a no contest. Very frustrating. It was kind of supposed to be his coming out party. And the question would be, would he try and get out there and do too much? Gentlemen, in round number one, he's being very composed.
Very composed. He's setting things up. He's looking for openings, finding his range. He's got a cagey guy in front of him, so he's not taking any risks early.
Yeah, and he's being patient.
Yeah, he's setting the
letting
table.
Things open up for him while using that educated light lead hand. And he's doing already something that we didn't see any of the prospects do early on in the night so far. He's punching off the different looks. He's going down low and then punching off the down low look. He's up high, he's punching off there, then he's feinting.
Great feinty feints. Good body shot there again.
You can already see the level starts to rise when you start to watch Darrelle Valsaint.
Beautiful uppercut with the lead.
And gentlemen, if you haven't seen him before and you look at the build of Blas Valsaint, he can't be a hard puncher. Yes, he is.
Okay.
You don't know boxing.
Yeah, with both hands. And he switches sides well also.
Teddy Atlas said, he goes, guys, those skinny builds, I don't want to fight them. They hit too hard.
10 seconds.
A very measured first round from both of these fighters.
What happened? You get too close?
You can touch the body a little bit more, right? You see the feints there? And the reason that you're just like, those jabs, you guys are good. Use your jab. He's trying to walk you down, right? But use your jab. Get comfortable. Be ready. Give me some.
Round number two about to begin. Steven Daniel, see him in his corner from the Netherlands. Measured first round, the champs, you guys said it, because when you're the older fighter, 35 years old, you don't try and keep up with the kids. He did not try to do that in round number one. There's the kid himself, Blas Valsaint. Round number two. Blas Valsaint in the black and silver. Daniel in the straight silver trunks.
Come on, work out of there, guys. Let go of each other. Come on. Work out. Step.
I like the instruction in the corner for Valsaint to touch the body a little more. I think that's a smart move with the older vet. Oof, nice 3-2 right down the middle. Splits the guard. Heard that one.
Look at the way that the speed changes for Valsaint with that lead hand. Sometimes it's on and sometimes it just snaps out.
Yeah, and again, it's the kind of thing you're going to have to do to open up a guy like Daniel. He's not going to really look to come undone, is Daniel. He's going to take what you give him, see if he can put you in a bad position. He's going to be patient. He realizes he's in with a prospect who could outclass him, so he's not going to give him too much. And he's going to try to see if maybe Valsaint loses patience and opens up a little too much for an opportunity for Daniel to hit him. So far, Valsaint has been very, very smart, and I like the way he's gone to the body as well.
Yeah, equal reach, but it seems like that hand just goes right around the elbows when he's hunting the body.
Come on, guys, work out of there.
Between
Work out
offense
of
and his
there.
transition to defense, man, it's
Work
smooth
out
like
of
silk.
there.
You think you're getting him, and he just evades you, just gets out of the way.
There's Daniel looking to open up, right, take advantage of those small little pockets and opportunities. Otherwise, he's not going to really open up to a big hook on the inside. Missed it there.
It's very interesting, Chris. Another one of our prospects, and it's a prospect, Nicolas Flas. Like, it looks like he should be able to hit him. Like, he's close enough that you should touch him, and you just can't.
Oh, and I'm sure his opponent feels like that too.
Yeah, and Valsaint has that same ability.
Yeah, he's got that little spidey sense. He can get out of the way at the very last second. Defense at the highest level is very subtle.
See, it's mental pressure that Daniel tries to put on over here. He doesn't try to give up ground or break position. Doesn't really open up, but tries to leave a physical presence in front of Valsaint. Valsaint being smart and trying to get to the body.
Just like his corner asked. You say you can touch that body. He's doing a very good job.
Nice hook! Right to the temple, and down goes Daniel.
Take it down to the body first.
He does, I don't know if he's getting up from there. It's over.
The way that Blast able to shorten up those right hands on the inside, it was hard to tell if they were having an effect or not, because you could see Daniel was smiling in the inside. But we got our answer. They were having an effect.
And Champ, that was what was so impressive, because Daniel is such a veteran. He holds that poker face. He was just trying to inch by inch, just give that little pressure, not open up, see if he could frustrate Valsaint. Valsaint never got frustrated, took what he gave him. You were wondering if Valsaint was going to come undone a little bit because of the pressure Daniel was putting on in terms of physical pressure, because it wasn't punching pressure. It was just a physical presence in front of him, to where sometimes a young fighter will be like, I can't get this guy off me, open up a little too much. But Valsaint never did that. Kept the punches short, took what he gave him, went to the body, went to the head, patiently looking for his shot.
Yeah,
and then,
do you see the way that Darrelle Valsaint was hand fighting? He's picking his hands, he's looking to sweep the glove, looking for his openings, creating openings, being very creative on the inside. Look where his hand position is, controlling, moving, touching.
And that's the thing, champion. That probing is not just creating the offensive attack, but it's also controlling Daniel's offense just in case. Because remember, about a round before, Daniel threw that wicked left hook on the inside that just missed Valsaint. So Valsaint knew, even on the inside, let me be real alert while I look for my shots. I'm not going to overexert myself. I'm going to take what I can get and then open up when I need to. And remember, he was going to the body the whole time, so Daniel now can't really anticipate if it's going to the head, to the body. A nice shot off those probing hands.
Sweep the glove, Johnny. Pushed it right down, bang, over the top.
Yep.
Beautiful stuff from Blast Valsaint.
I'll tell you, he keeps surprising you. No matter how good he is, you realize he's good, but he keeps showing you new wrinkles. Like, this was a night, as I saw this fight start to open up, I said, okay, Valsaint may get some rounds here, because Daniel's not going to go away that easily. He knows Daniel's not going to really win the fight, but Daniel's going to try to remain dangerous and try to put that mental pressure. And Valsaint surprised me again. He found the way to stop this guy.
He surprised Daniel, because Daniel never saw that ability in any of those fights, because we haven't either. We've never seen him be able to shorten up the shots in that way and still generate power.
Different pace tonight from
the
Ruiz fight.
Yeah, he gets more impressive every single time. We saw 5 or 6 speeds from Blast Valsaint. Lupe, make it official.
The official time inside the ProBox TV ring, 2 minutes, 17 seconds of round number 2. El tiempo oficial, 2 minutos, 17 segundos del segundo asalto. Your winner, by way of KO, el vencedor por knockout. Still undefeated, Darrelle Valsaint.
Paulie, you've said it many times. What separates a great pro from a great amateur? And a lot of times you say the ability to change it up, the variance in speed.
Yep.
Valsaint had, as I said, 5 or 6 different gears in there tonight.
Yeah, different gears. He has a high IQ in there. He has a mean streak, but doesn't go outside of himself in order to search for the knockout. He has that warrior mentality with the high IQ, looking like a black Goku.
Yeah, unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And maybe more explosive.
I think more explosive and more powerful. Chris, impressive even for us who knew how great he was.
Listen, I am so thoroughly impressed with this guy. I talk about him all the time, but even tonight, man, he's showing different wrinkles. That just shows you what Robert Garcia was talking about at the Open. He wants to see a guy with discipline. He's got the physical talent, obviously. Guess what? He's got the discipline, too, because he's working on things, coming back, and getting better each and every fight.
And remember, I was curious to see how that Ruiz fight would open up. because the discipline he showed early in that fight at that fast pace was unbelievable. I wanted to see if he could continue. We didn't get to see it. Well, you know what? This was a different pace. This was a slower pace, a different kind of IQ you got to show in this kind of fight, and yet the discipline remains.
Can the heavyweights do the same? That is the question in our co-main event. Another prospect in Jeremiah Milton, 11-0. Well, guess what? His opponent undefeated as well. Who will come out on top? Gotta stay tuned. Check it out.
ProBox, you know, it's an amazing platform. It's always been tough, competitive fights. You've seen a lot of people, you know, get upset at, you know, on the night that they were supposed to go out there and do their thing. But, you know, it's not about having a name over here. It's about, you know, getting the job done. So, yeah, not my first time fighting an undefeated guy. A lot of those people on my record right now, I'm pretty happy with the resume that I've built. And I'm more than confident in my skill set.
What kind of a statement you looking to make against this guy? You know, because you've been off for a little while. There may be some question marks about the inactivity. Some guys don't perform well off inactivity. How big of a statement is it for you to get an impressive win here in a fight coming off of this layoff as well? Because, you know, usually guys are sharp when they're busy. If you're able to look sharp in this fight against an undefeated guy and you haven't been busy, what does that say about you? And where do you want to put yourself going forward?
You know, I've always sought to, you know, catapult my name amongst all the top heavyweights. So, you know, top heavyweights, these will be guys like, you know, that are fighting on these tidy cards constantly and blah, blah, blah. They're getting the most exposure. You know, I believe I belong in there with the best. So, you know, to come out here and to do a job on this guy who, you know, he's also put in his time. You know, obviously he's got himself to a certain point in his career, so he's going to feel a certain type of way. But, you know, on a night like that night, it's just going to have to be about me.
Dreamland is his nickname. Why? It doesn't take a huge punch for him to send you there. Very, very heavy-handed. Chris, you said, I called this guy on his way up when he was a prospect everybody was looking at. He's looking to reestablish himself right here at ProBox TV.
Yeah, I mean, he was very, very hyped up. A top prospect, big amateur. He's also doing a lot of work in gyms with high-level, world-class heavyweights. So there's a lot of buzz around him. But he got stalled out, which happens in fighters' careers. Falls between the cracks a little bit. Bring him back on ProBox TV. See what you can do.
When you look at that, you usually don't match a prospect who's undefeated against another undefeated prospect, but that's
we do on ProBox.
We do on ProBox. Jeremiah Milton versus Stanley Wright. That's right. They are both undefeated, 24 combined wins. Who will come out on top in a fight that we don't expect to go the distance? Stay tuned right here on ProBox TV and find out.
At the Boeing Center in San Antonio. In the main event, San Antonio's own future world champ Ramon Cardenas takes on one of the most exciting young super bantamweight fighters emerging from Mexico, Brian Acosta. And in the co-main, Guatemalan sensation Lester Martinez looks to continue his win streak against the king of upsets, Joshon James.
Welcome back here. Promo? Oh, no. Welcome back to ProBox TV. And that giant taking off his shirt right there is, of course, Stanley Wright, weighed in at 280 pounds. We said, is that heavy during the fight interviews? He goes, nah, I've weighed 296 before. He is a gigantic heavyweight. His opponent right there, Jeremiah Milton, 11-0, 7 knockouts. We talked about his sparring in the past. He's sparred with some of the best in the world. That's where a lot of his reputation comes from. Let's take a look at the betting odds. They never know how to skew our fights. Jeremiah Milton minus 550. Stanley Wright plus 375. Bet online. Absolutely unbelievable, these odds. Both of these guys capable of ending this fight at any moment. It's a little bit overused, but I'm going to say it. Don't blink for this one. Jeremiah Milton, 30 years old. See the weight, 244.2. He looks tiny next to Stanley Wright, 280.4. 34 years old, reached just a half-inch there, but Stanley Wright, the much bigger fighter tonight. Lupe Contreras, get our co-main event going.
We continue at the ProBox Event Center, Tampa, Florida. This is ProBox TV. The action being brought to you by Bet Online and Wild Casino. This contest, 10 rounds in the heavyweight division. Este duelo, 10 vueltas, división peso completo. Los jueces son, the judges are Michael Ross, Braden Jackson, and Shammy Shipman. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 2 undefeated fighters, but someone's gonna take an L tonight. Presenting first, in the blue corner, he enters wearing leopard print with brown trim, presentando en la esquina azul, vestido con marcas de leopardo y vivos color café. He tipped the scales at an official 280.25 pounds. Marcó sobre la báscula un peso oficial de 280 libras y un cuarto. Esta noche pone su récord invicto en juego de 13 victorias. 11 de sus victorias por la vía del knockout tonight. Inside the ProBox TV ring, he puts his undefeated record on the line, consisting of 13 victories, 11 victories by way of KO. From Charlotte, North Carolina, the Black Shogun, Stanley Wright. In the red corner, wearing white with blue trim en la esquina roja, vestido de blanco con color azul, su peso oficial, 244 libras y un cuarto, his official weight, 244.25 pounds. Like his rival, he too is undefeated as a pro, with 11 victories, 7 victories coming by way of knockout. Igual que su rival, se mantiene invicto a nivel profesional, con 11 victorias, 7 de sus victorias por la vía del knockout. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, and representing his hometown of Tulsa, Oklahoma, Jeremiah Dreamland Milton. Our referee, Christopher Young.
Red corner, blue corner. All right, listen, champ. Over here is good. Everything over here is going to be good, okay? Gentlemen, you know what time it is. Fight hard, fight clean, touch them up.
Oh, we know what time it is. Our co-main event, 2 hard-hitting heavyweights, both of them undefeated. No surprise, both of them promised a knockout, gentlemen.
All right.
The heavyweights, what are they supposed to predict?
What are they supposed to say?
It's going to be a boxing exhibition. Heavyweights don't predict boxing exhibitions, they predict knockouts.
That's right, we're underway. Round number 1. Jeremiah Milton in the white and blue, right in the cheetah print. Gotta tell you, his corner, Wright's corner, right in front of us. He's leaning against the ropes, and I'm praying they're tight enough.
Yeah, I am not used to seeing heavyweights in our ring. This is interesting to have these big guys here.
Yes, Wright, what makes him different is I have hand speed. I don't throw punches like a 280 pounder. He doesn't. He doesn't.
Every time I see a plump heavyweight, I think of Frankie Swindell in the 90s.
Yeah,
Frankie Swindell had those fast hands, little rotund, but he could be dangerous.
Look at Andy Ruiz.
Oh, yeah, that's true too. That's more new generation, right?
Another fast-handed heavyweight that's not built. Doesn't look like he's built for speed, but he is.
David Tua, surprisingly quick, especially when he got inside,
especially early on.
Oh yeah. Trust me, we can talk about the 90s all day here. ProBox TV, we've got the generation for it. Right now, making his presence known. That hand speed.
The thing about Wright is he's starting fast. Now, that's where you do start to think about the excess weight. Does he tire out if he can't get nothing out of there?
Another thing about his size, gentlemen, Wright, really not a footwork guy. Kind of stands there in front of you, not a lot of head movement.
Could have guessed that.
Yeah, could have guessed that one.
Let's get it.
Could have guessed that.
Right?
Say usually when you're a little bit, when you like that rotund, you take away your footwork most of the time.
Milton, on the other hand, very classy, uses the jab, fights out of that tall position, goes high, goes low. Another guy who likes to set the table, takes a right hand there on his way out, but circled away with it, took some of the power off the shot.
Right, one of those guys. Don't have to land clean, at least push you out of the way.
Milton consistently escaping to his right. Wright would be...
Oh, good left hook on the inside from Milton.
Yeah, and an uppercut. Wright would be well served to cut off the ring and go into his left and maybe trying to walk Milton to a left hook if that circling too Milton's right continues.
Wright says, very honest about it, says, Milton's my most dangerous opponent yet. It's the best guy I've fought.
Milton, one of those guys, because he is a thinking fighter, he does have a high IQ, can get stuck in the mud at times, thinking a little too much before pulling the trigger.
You said that's one of his weaknesses, Chris, and the fights you've seen is he doesn't always let his hands go when he should.
Yep, he's got beautiful punches, great combinations when he lets his hands go. Has the idea of what he needs to do, he just sometimes needs to pull the trigger a little sooner.
Sparred with guys like Anthony Joshua. You know, he knows how to deal with world-class skills.
Yeah, you can see these punches are whiz. Oh, what a right hand!
Straight back. Milton on his butt in round number 1.
You said it, Jimmy. This is not the time to go grab a beer. We got heavyweights in the ring.
Just seconds left to go in the round, and Wright pushing forward.
And it's also the time where odds makers have nightmares because a plus 375 underdog just scored a knockdown in round 1.
Paulie, I'm not
hard knockdown.
I'm not saying you pulled out your phone when you saw those odds, but you were thinking about it. Unbelievable odds considering what we're seeing.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man.
Yeah, pull it up. Yeah.
It's consistent with the product we've been giving to fans if they've been watching ProBox for a while. The underdogs are live here.
Look at we see right over the top.
I like how Wright goes underneath. You look at he goes over the top. You see he gets underneath that jab of Milton. Milton's trying to jab while backing up. What he should have done was drop that lead hand on top of the neck of Wright so that Wright couldn't come up. You know, it's a little bit dirty, but it's savvy because you realize you missed the jab and the guy's closing the gap. If you keep going backwards and don't pull him down, he's going to have the momentum coming forward on the right hand, and that's exactly what happened as he was able to come over the top with the right hand.
You know, Jimmy, I had mentioned that Milton has a tendency to box from a tall position. That got him in trouble there. I was actually surprised. Stanley
tall and going straight back.
Slid out nicely to his right. Stayed low, threw the punch over the top. Nice move by Stanley there, even with some footwork.
You know what? Wright is undefeated. We're talking about he's young though, but he's still undefeated. And so being undefeated is not just a record, it's a mentality as well. And that's why I love these matchups when we match these hungry guys up against one another.
Well, Stanley Wright, a big knockdown at the end of round number 1. Now start round number 2. We'll see if Milton has been able to clear the cobwebs.
He looks clear in terms of his balance, his eyes. He's come out feinting, pawing with the jab, probing.
Scheduled for 10, so fortunately enough rounds that you can right the ship. He's now respecting the power of Wright if he didn't before.
Wright looks dangerous with both hands. That left hook is quick too.
And for Wright, it's also, you know.
Oh, there it is.
The left hook. Quick left hook there. Right, it's also a reason to be confident going forward. You know, to continue to have that self-belief that, frankly, he started in round 1. Frankly, Wright started with that belief in round 1. You can see with his body language the way he's been fighting.
Gary Jonas talks about liking his guys sharp. He likes them nervous. And now it looks like Milton, after feeling that power, is a little nervous. Might make him a little sharper in this fight.
Well, he's got his eyes wide now. He's thinking, trying to set things up, not taking as many risks.
I think it has to come a point for Milton where he does have to make Wright think a little bit. Right now, Milton is too basic with his attempts and his attack, and he's not really a lot of pressure or a lot of stress on Wright. Wright is basically, when he's in defensive mode, Milton is not creating enough to make him tired, and then when Wright wants to get started on offense, he has the freedom to try to get started on offense. So I think it's up to Milton to try to create at least a threat or the potential threat for Wright to feel, so that mentally he can feel a little stress. Otherwise, you're going to have a hard time also, you know, fatiguing Wright for that matter.
And surprisingly, Wright, for his size, 280, he can move forward very quickly.
Oh, good right hand there from Milton. Right, very, very lumbering on his feet. You know, stepping through, but man, he's got quick hands and power.
And he turned south on the inside there and threw a couple of hooks over the top.
Kind of just fell forward and stepped into the stance, but listen, 280's 280. Now the guy's landing with power.
Paul, you talk about it all the time, going through the front door. It looks like Wright, that's his way in. Not really trying to cut angles. Pulling forward,
but he does get low, like we scored the knockdown. You know, it's when I feel like guys come through the front door, they just give that one look. You see right there, tried to step in as a southpaw, tried to change the angle a little bit. So he is making an attempt to create side doors here, Jimmy. But I think Milton actually has to make an attempt to try to create different looks here. I think he's not coming in at all. When he is trying to come in, it's the same look over and over.
There's a lot of opportunities for Milton that he's not capitalizing on.
Much less active round. Looks like that might suit Milton a little bit more.
Okay.
Stanley Wright.
You're ready to win in a fight.
Coach King,
Just
he
take
is
your time.
breathing
Just
real
put your
heavy.
hands up.
It's the downside of coming in at 280. Milton, I think, just trying to get his wits about him in that second round. Establish his boxing a little bit, gentlemen.
He established the range a little bit. You know, he's letting that right hand go, but exactly what I was saying from the top, thinking a little too much. He's be a little more fluid with those shots. He's got a nice jab, changing levels. Got to let that right hand go.
That's the start of round number 3, scheduled for 10 in our heavyweight co-main event. Jeremiah Milton in the white and blue. Stanley Wright in the cheetah print. Knocked down in round number 1. If you missed it, it was Stanley Wright landing a big shot with that right hand, putting Milton down, but Milton recovered well in round number 2.
Milton, it seems like he doesn't have a lot of confidence in his ability to create here. You know, he seems a little bit hesitant, and maybe that might be the knockdown that was scored from Wright. You know, maybe it's you know, he was a little quicker than he expected. What do you think, champ?
I've seen this in other fights from Milton, and I don't know if it's so much just the knockdown, because I've seen him in fights where he was in control, but still, again, thinking too much. You can see the gears turning in his head.
Yeah, champ, that's why I deferred you. I know you've worked some of his fights right over when he was all with Top Rank, right?
Yeah, that was one of the first things I said when he said he was going to be in our car. I was like, ooh, man, he's talented, but you know,
does he know he's talented? Sometimes he fights like he doesn't know it, right?
That's the question.
Let him go. Let him go.
What's saying football? Look like Tarzan, play like Jane, right? It's not always the same. You don't always match your confidence level to the skills, especially the physical skills that you have.
Well, let's see, because he's got a hungry guy in front of him. You know, Wright, you know, is undefeated himself, and again, he's got the mentality. So Milton is going to have to match that mentality here. He's going to start working his way into a threatening position in this fight. Right now, I do not think Wright has felt any threat from Milton.
No, and Wright's breathing very, very hard. He was breathing hard in the last round. In between the corner, didn't look like he recovered much at all. Still throwing some hard stopping shots here, but I don't like the way he's walking around the ring.
Also, another problem is he's had trouble staying at the right distance. Right, falls into a lot of his punches, smothering his shots.
Steps through into southpaw position.
But I think that actually helps Wright because he can get cheap rests in the clinches.
Yes, exactly.
Milton doesn't really force a work pace in the clinches, so I think those clinches actually help.
Well, Milton also allows for a start-stop.
Yeah.
A lot of start-stop, a lot of setting up, and then tangle.
He's also recognizing the fatigue creeping up on Wright and recognizing that he is a bit heavier than he should be. Should at least make Milton maybe want to carry a little bit of a heavier pace.
But also, when you got a guy who's got fast hands, who likes to pull the trigger the way that Wright does, get on those feints. Yeah. Feint out that first move, and especially when you got a guy whose gas tank is diminishing. Feint them out, get that explosive movement, take advantage, capitalize, tap that gas tank even quicker.
Right now, the difference in the fight is really who's hungry. Milton's not really showing a lot of hunger to try to create and get on the front foot. And Wright hasn't been active, but when he's been active, he's been explosive in some ways.
In your jabs,
yes, you're beautiful, bro. You're beautiful. When you're boxing, it's beautiful.
He's awkward on the inside, you know, with his hooks and turning left and right.
You don't need to be in there. You don't need to be on the inside.
Okay.
You just fucking work those long shots.
How you feel?
Well, everything is bigger in Texas. That's where we're going February 8th, San Antonio. Ramon Cardenas versus Brian Acosta. 45 wins, 1 loss between these two fighters in our main event. Also, Lester Martinez, Joe Sean James, both undefeated in their own right. That is a hell of a card from top to bottom. Don't miss it. Download the app now. ProBox TV. Find out why millions are watching. Right now, we are watching a co-main event. 2 heavyweights scheduled for 10 rounds. This is round number 4. We see the 280-pound Stanley Wright to your right in the cheetah print. It was a short notice fight for him. He said, gave us the "I'm always training" line, but no one's always training for a fight. It doesn't work that way, Paul.
Yeah, fight training is different than being in shape. And I mean, Wright's in A shape.
But it also, guys, it also is up to Milton to recognize that it is a sort of a last-minute opponent and try to bring a pace to him and test if he's going to be in shape enough to carry it. But it's up to Milton. So far, I think through 3 rounds, they haven't carried much of a pace, and I think Milton has failed to even test that out.
Pace must be imposed, and right now Milton not imposing his pace.
No, he's allowing Wright to get those cheap rests. He's allowing him to stay in this fight.
And just because of his girth and his size, every shot is like we all hear it at ringside.
And I think everybody at home is used to the kind of fights we strive to bring the fans at home. So far the heavyweight experiment is through 3 rounds is let's see.
I mean, at least we got a knockdown.
He did get a knockdown in round number 1. That was Stanley Wright knocking down Milton.
And that's the thing about heavyweights. They can be the most exciting thing in the sport. But when they aren't, it can be more boring than any other weight class because they start to lumber and lay and have a slow pace and everything else. So with heavyweights, it can go either way. When they're fun, they're the most fun. But when they're not, well, they can be the worst to watch.
You slow down at 147, you're going to get steamrolled, right? The volume is there, but heavyweight.
Slow down a heavyweight, it becomes a hugfest.
Exactly.
And again, I haven't seen Milton try to win the fight yet. It's like
nice left hook.
At least Wright, he's brought in last minute. But he's in his little spots. He tries to pick his moments to explode. He's trying to go for it. Yet he knows he may not have a gas tank for 10 rounds, so he's trying to budget it. Milton,
right hand from Milton.
Milton, nice shot there. Try to time it over the top of Wright, but Milton hasn't done anything with any consistency, and he's the one who had the date to begin with.
Stop.
Another left hook there from Wright over the top of the right hand from Milton. See, I want to see more of that. Fighting on the inside from Milton.
Yeah, not allowing Wright to rest. Test out that gas tank. Not accepting those clinches. Wright, this is where Wright really rests up.
Jeremiah Milton himself, this is his first scheduled 10-rounder. Talk about confidence. He might have a lack of confidence in his ability to go 10 hard rounds.
Champ, I think the word you use, accepting, is the right one. The acceptance of allowing this fight to be as slow as it is. Wright not looking good. Welcome back to his corner. Very, very tired. Lumbering.
Doing good, man. Doing good.
You're doing good.
This round not exactly busy, Chris.
Yeah, our truck said the one shot from the round. Here's that left hook over the top.
They like to make it easy on the truck by having one shot for a replay.
And it wasn't even that clean of a shot, but it was probably the best shot.
It was the cleanest shot.
It was the cleanest shot of that round.
Because again, Milton is not really showing a will to try to go for the win.
Either time in or step back.
Well, he doesn't want to take a risk. He's already been on the canvas.
I need straight shots. You see that right hand? You heard him with that right hand again. Keep fucking straight shots. You ain't got to know follow nothing else. Okay. Straight shots, feint, step back, bump up. You hear me? That 1, 2.
The heavier fighter, sound advice, throw straight punches.
You're good. You're doing good.
Yeah, you got it.
The question is, can the 280-pound heavyweight and Stanley Wright go another 6 rounds as we begin round number 5?
Oh, nice slip on the inside and rip of the uppercut lead hand from Milton there. And that's the thing. Every once in a while, you see why there was so much hype around this guy, because of the ability, because of the talent.
But off a sharp counter like that, then you do start to lead, right? But instead, Milton back to that posing.
like you said, I don't think it's going to take much. If Milton just steps on the gas pedal a little bit, lets those hands go, he's got a guy in front of him who's wilting.
But then you give Wright a chance to get confident again. Because remember, Wright is not just an opponent. He's
undefeated,
opponent, but he's undefeated.
But he also understands he's talented as well. He's got fast hands. He's a big guy. He can obviously punch.
So when it comes to this, you've got to beat the winning mentality out of a guy. It's not because he shows up with a winning mentality. It's not like you're fighting journeymen who don't show up with a winning mentality. And if they win, they can win. But if not, hey, it's not the end of the world for them. They're not going to break their back over it. A guy with an undefeated record shows up with a winning mentality.
Let him go. Let him go.
Been a lot of this in close clinch positions where, as you said, it's been Wright looking for those cheap rests, little short break.
Come on, gentlemen.
But you don't have to allow a guy to tie up. That's something, it takes two to tango. It's a true statement. You don't have to allow or accept.
There's Milton trying not to allow it. There it is, champ. Maybe he heard you.
Head in the center. Trying to keep Wright off of him. After Wright threw a big winging right hand.
Now you almost think, champ, like all the sparring, all the great sparring that Jeremiah Milton gets, is he getting into that sparring partner mentality where he's not trying to win?
It's a good point, yeah. You just got to go rounds and get the work in. Are you nurturing your whole career, your own career, by doing that, by allowing yourself to make that the normal mentality you bring to your fights?
We're out here, ProBox TV, not used to fights that aren't all action and starting to get on both fighters now.
Especially the night we've had.
Right.
Very competitive fights throughout.
Great stoppages. Darrelle Valsaint showed education. Fight before this, great knockout.
Jordan Iceman Roach looked very sharp in the open. Had a game guy in front of him who was trying to win throughout.
Well, this fight slowing it down a bit. 10 seconds left to go in round number 5. Another slow round, but Milton landing a little bit more. That's all you can say about it.
February 8th at the Boeing Center in San Antonio. Cardenas versus Acosta. Martinez versus James.
Every time you hit him with that right hand, you hurt that motherfucker. Takes a step back, takes a big deep breath. Let it go.
Good job. Good job. You're doing good.
Don't forget, this is our co-main event, our main event, Naji Lopez versus Lenin Castillo. That's in the light heavyweight division. Naji Lopez undefeated. Lenin Castillo has taken on some of the best in the world at 175 pounds. Big step up for him. We're halfway through this 10-round fight. We're scheduled for 2 heavyweights. Both of them undefeated, both of them known for their knockout power. Right, however, taking this fight in the cheetah print on short notice, and you can see it is taxing his gas. But Milton, in the white and blue, yet to really turn it up. Jeremiah Milton is talented, but hasn't really shown us the volume.
Hasn't turned it up, hasn't built off anything, hasn't been setting the table.
You got to set the table if you want to eat.
That's right. We got heavyweights, you know they're hungry. And that's what's lacking in this fight, the hunger to take control and to win the fight.
Can't do too much holding, okay? Box.
The boss, promoter Gary Jonas, boss here at ProBox TV, sitting ringside for this fight.
Let him go. Let him go. Come on, Red.
He likes guys who leave it all in the ring. And if you do, win or lose, you come back here.
If you don't win or lose, you don't.
Exactly. That is the flip side of that equation, gentlemen.
Yeah, if you win boring, you don't come back either.
Right. Which, by the way, we almost never see here. Like, I mean, it's just surprising.
Yeah, the matchmakers do a good job, and Jonas, he screens the matchmakers as well. Screens the matches for final say. So, you know, there's usually a a process of multiple steps there in order to get accepted for the matchup on ProBox. That's why we usually, I gotta tell you, you guys at home, we usually do a good job with our matchups. But hey, every once in a while, one slips through the cracks like this. We were trying the heavyweight experiment.
And the referee just warned both men about the clinching and inactivity.
Yeah, because I'm sure Chris Young is also, getting bored in there.
He's also not used to this. He works a lot of our shows, and he's used to, excellent fights back and forth. He rarely has to separate guys because guys want to let their hands go.
You see us to work.
Yeah.
Dude, and also separating these guys, I wouldn't want to be the guy in there, pushing these guys apart.
Now you see Milton trying to lean on right as he leans over there, trying to put some weight on his back. Smart move that Lennox Lewis used to use really well with shorter guys.
Oh, nice hook there by Wright. Nice jab as well.
See, now Milton's starting to go for it a little bit there. He got hit with the shot, but then came right back and started to throw with him. We haven't seen that much. Usually when he gets touched up, he covers up and then we go to the clinch. That time he fired back.
You're getting too much weight in, guys.
Wright looks absolutely exhausted.
But I still give Wright credit because in spots you see some snappy shots. Even when Milton lets him go, it's like he's throwing while trying to play defense at the same time. He's not putting any mustard on them. And he's not doing it because they're probing shots like Valsaint was doing last fight. He's doing it because he's worried about what's coming back.
There's that explosion, though, from Wright. He saves it up.
Round number, right hand and a slip from Jeremiah Milton. We'll see what the corners say to these very tired fighters.
Break. Hey, easy to work. He's exhausted. He's exhausted. He's absolutely exhausted. Breathe. Slow it down. I need you to let out.
You're doing good. Doing good, brother. You're doing good. Take a little bit right now. Good job. Okay? You good now? We keep like we have 4 more rounds. We ain't giving up. I can see how tough you are. Let's go get him. Go get him, champ.
Here's a cheat code for those of you watching at home. When you say, what does bad cornering sound like? I say, if it's something your mom would say, it's bad. Good job. The 4 more rounds. All right, my mom could say that. There was no tactical advice, nothing to change. If it's something, guys, am I wrong? If it's something your mom would say, good job, champ. You're doing good. Here's some water.
But I think with the right corner though, right, no pun intended, the right corner, he might be winning, but you also have a guy on short notice, so maybe you don't want to let him overexert himself. It's hit or miss here, It's like because Wright is in a position where he could win at this pace. It will be more on Milton giving the fight away.
Right, Milton giving the fight away, exactly. Yeah. But no tactical advice about anything.
I did figure out one thing exciting about this fight. If you bet the underdog, you're excited right now because your underdog is in the fight right now. Right.
Yeah,
you might win at plus 375.
Scored a knockdown early, and now we got to fight that these rounds are.
But if you have one piece of tactical advice, Chris, what would it be? For Milton, for Wright, whose corner said, "Good job, good job, good." I mean, what? You said something?
Well, honestly, I mean, to a degree, keep doing what you're doing because obviously your gas tank is not there. But I mean, I would suggest going for it because I think if he lands, obviously he can hurt Milton, and he is explosive at times. But it's kind of like he's stretching out that gas tank to see if he can make it to the end.
But again, you see Milton.
Which at this pace, he might.
Milton very non-committal. Very non-committal.
Milton's corner a couple rounds ago said throw straight punches. That's all you need to do.
And if he does throw them, it may work. But he's not doing that either. He's kind of throwing while at the same time worried about what's coming back, so he's not even committing.
Milton, though, when you watch this, he's very frustrated. You're seeing some talent. You see him show flashes of what he can do, but also you're watching being, you can do this, you can do that. There's opportunities. He just does not pull the trigger.
Yeah. Even bending his knees to show a different level, change a level, something, like nothing there. Same look over and over again, and a non-committal mentality.
It makes you think, like, what's going on in Milton's head right now? I'd love to be able to read his mind.
But when Jeremiah Milton got signed by ProBox, Chris, You said it. You went, well, he's had some up and downs. I've called these fights before. Real talented,
Looked a lot like this.
sparring.
And guys, guys at home, when we say signed by ProBox, networks used to sign fighters. We don't want you guys to confuse us for a promoter. At times, fighters sign with ProBox just so we can have them repeated on the network. We're not a promoter. We're not signing guys to a promotional deal. We're signing guys to network deals the way sort of on a higher level HBO and Showtime used to, where they were signed to
Floyd Mayweather signed with Showtime
and HBO at the various times in his career, right? So we're a network that's at this level, not at the championship level, but nonetheless, we're trying to bring you guys the best fights possible. So we do sign fighters as well to the network.
Yeah. Ooh, good shot there from Wright.
Oh, good left hook.
Again, that whipping left hook of Wright, very impressive. And those are eye-catching shots at the bell in slow-paced rounds that can lay it out.
Feints and straight fucking shots. You hear me?
3 rounds left, bro. 3 fucking rounds.
We gotta win every round. Every round, all right?
Jeremiah Milton's corner just said you have to win every round.
Absolutely correct. Because, like you said at the end of the last round, champ, eye-catching shots at the end of the round. Nothing happens all around, and you get hit with a shot like that, you lose that round.
Yep.
Simple as that. Plus, Wright has the knockdown in his pocket from early on.
Let's go, time. We got these.
So maybe the cheerleading advice in the corner of Wright's working out great.
Maybe it was just enough. We shall see. We begin round number 8, scheduled for 10. Jeremiah Milton in the white and blue. Stanley Wright in the cheetah print. As you said, champ, a knockdown in round number 1. Stanley Wright able to put Jeremiah Milton on his butt. Since then, it's been a pretty slow fight. Both guys tying up a lot. Referee has warned both men.
You know what has not been slow is the hand speed of Wright. He does have quick hands.
He's quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not been consistent, but at least he's shown a change of gears at times. Milton never gone through a change of gears. It seems like he's never gotten out of first.
No, you're right.
Maybe touched second at times in the clinch when he tried to force the fight in the clinch, but other than that, it wasn't. Not really coming out of the gears.
But no consistency from either man, really. But the only thing that's been consistent has been the hand speed from Wright. There it is again. Beautiful right hand.
But when he puts the speed on, it may be few and far between, but he can go from first to fourth. You know what I mean? Like, he gets it up there.
Also, you do get the feeling that Stanley Wright is fighting with what he's got. It's a late notice fight. Exactly. He's got power and he's got speed. He can't use it consistently, but he does. You get the feeling that Milton isn't using what he has as much. Right? Wright is doing everything he can.
Winning mentality. When you fight a fellow prospect, they have that winning mentality. You're no longer fighting opponents who will sort of accept that, okay, it's not my night, whatever. I'm not going to risk making it my night. While a guy who's a prospect will put himself a little bit more at risk to keep that undefeated record or to keep that dream alive of continuing to go up the ladder, ascend the ladder.
Guys, if you're noticing, Wright's actually working a lot this round. I think he sees the end is near. He's like, you know what? I got 2.5 more rounds. I'm going to go for it. I still feel good. This guy's not pushing me. Why not?
And Milton now bleeding from the mouth a little bit.
Great Emmanuel Stewart said it one time. I think it was to Lennox Lewis. Can't take your punches home with you. Whatever you got, you throw it.
Interesting fact about Wright. Turned pro at 180 pounds.
I cannot.
That was 100 pounds ago. So now you think about this hand speed. Where did that come from? He used to be a light heavyweight.
Yeah, and he probably has that little bit of a spice to his style at the lower weight classes, right? Sometimes you just eat your way out of weight classes.
I cannot picture.
I did it post-retirement.
Well, yeah, post-retirement you did.
Wright's the kind of guy. He's got some talent. He's got some power, obviously. He's savvy enough. You're going to get him in shape, put him through real camp. Doesn't take a fight on short notice.
Let's see if he can sneak out a victory tonight. 25 seconds left to go in round number 8, scheduled for 10. And it's not as though Milton has tried to take the fight away from him. That's the thing, Paul, you keep pointing out.
Yeah. Keep in mind, both these guys undefeated. So the O is on the line here.
Seconds, gentlemen.
This is the kind of fight where nobody's going to be impressed, even if you win it. Right. At least if you win it, you may still
have Sterling.
You may fall into another fight. If you lose it, you've lost it and you look bad.
Right. If you're going to look bad, at least win, right?
Yeah.
2 more rounds to go. This heavyweight co-main event. Don't forget, the main event still on the way. Naji Lopez versus Lenin Castillo.
Fucking be in control and take that fight. Take the fight to him. Under behind feints and let your fucking jab go. Look at me. Hear me. Behind feints and let your jab go. You're going to win this, but you got to let your fucking hands go these last 2 rounds.
How often do you hear that, Chris? Let your hands go. Hey, don't know what to tell you. Can't win if you don't punch.
What else are you going to say right now? I mean, when you let his hands go, good things happen.
Let's go work. Let's go work. There's nothing he can do to you right now. He's scared of you, so put it on.
And that is an exhausted fighter in the corner.
Yeah, but the corner has some good advice there. He can do nothing to you. He's scared of you. Okay, go after him.
And that's the thing. If Milton is kept on the back foot, Milton can never create anything. Right. We've already seen that. Milton has been having trouble getting on the front foot and started sort of getting on a creative mode. But on the back foot, Milton has trouble creating. And so I guess that's the mindset behind those instructions. Stay on top of Milton so that you keep him on the back foot. All in Milton's corner, they let him know, hey, bro, you know, you gotta go for it now. If you're gonna save him, you better let him go the last.
Also, I can see Milton stepping in with a nice 1-2. You know, we got a tired guy in front of him. He could take this fight too.
Yep.
Like that.
Nice jabs though by right there, smart, solid jabs.
Don't turn around.
Again, in a fight where landing shots are few and far between, even the snappy, quick punches that land here and there are eye-catching.
Stop.
Because Milton has no snap on a lot of his shots because he's half defending and half throwing when he's throwing. That's what happens when you throw punches while at the same time being worried about what's coming back.
That's exactly it. I mean, since that knockdown, he just has been non-committal on his power shots. Non-committal on his jabs as well. Hasn't been consistent with any of his offense.
All I think he's really committed to, gentlemen, is the clinch. Plenty of times he could push away and does not. Right here.
Clinch don't score you points.
Nope.
Stop.
Or get you fans.
Come on, gentlemen.
Step in once again with the left hook for right. Milton clinches over-under position. Chris, you know it well. You're a wrestler. You know it.
That's why I mentioned hand fighting in the Valsaint fight.
I give Wright credit, though. You know, you made a good observation. He said Craig's got a couple rounds left. Hey, I've got more energy than I expected to have at this point in the fight. Let me up the pace a little bit. Let's see if Milton answers. Milton has not answered.
The pace has been pedestrian at best. So Wright has been able to not only survive, but actually do some work in between. Steal rounds, steal moments.
Throw a little body shot on the inside there by Milton a second ago, but
then he smothers his punches. Then he goes into the clinch, yeah. It's hard to understand and not wanting to stay in range where he's having success.
It's almost as if Milton's afraid to win. He lands a good shot, he could capitalize, and just he's unwilling to step it up and build.
I mean, you've got to notice that you're tired. I mean, if you're Milton, you've got to see the same tired opponent in front of you that we see. You know, which should make you try to push for something more. You know.
But you know it is though. I think with the fast hands, every once in a while he'll do that, and Milton goes, he's still quick.
But do you want to win? You know, like quote Denzel in Training Day. You want to go to jail or you want to go home? Yeah. Because you're at that point here.
Right. You got 2 choices. Right.
10 seconds.
Ooh, and they're extreme choices. Because, you know, winning and losing at this point in your career makes a big difference as to where your career is going.
Last round coming. I got 2 here. Got 2 here. Okay? It's the last round.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Last
inside the ProBox event, they have 1 more to go. This is the 10th and final round.
We are ready for our 10th and final round of our co-main event. Jeremiah Milton taking on Stanley Wright. And what may be a very close fight on the scorecards. Right, short notice fight. He is absolutely exhausted. Got a knockdown in round number 1.
Let's go for
has
the last
had
one.
some rounds where he's had success with that power. Jeremiah Milton, inactivity has hurt him in this fight. Gentlemen, it's one of those where whoever loses, and then, you know, especially with Jeremiah Milton, he would have to. He's going to have to say you could have done more than you did, right?
Could have, should have, would have, didn't.
Right.
Type of thing, you know.
This is one of those fights where you go back as a fighter and you go back and watch it, and I could have done this, could have done that. You know, I always tell young fighters, and they ask me, you know, going into fights, whatever you do, when you wake up the next day, whether it's Saturday or Sunday, don't think you could have done more.
Good left hook.
Our viewers on the YouTube page have right winning. 67% of our viewers have right winning this fight coming into the last round.
Yeah, it
doesn't surprise me.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Because of that, I mean, he just bowls in and throws some decent shots.
He's got that whipping left hook that comes very loose from the shoulder. It's fast, it's eye-catching. It catches Milton, who's standing tall often and jabbing really with no conviction.
And guys, you know, if you're watching at home, we advise you to stay for the main event. We do have Naji Lopez
it's gonna be great.
Lenin Castillo, which is an explosive fight. We've got some great ring girls as well. You know, there's other things.
Oh, good body shot there from Milton, but comes back
with a
does
clinch.
Right with the left hook.
Comes back with a clinch.
And then he got clipped with a left hook, and then before the clinch. That was a really good left hook to the liver, though.
You get the feeling that Wright is throwing everything he has. He's doing everything he can with the tools he had. He got the call last Thursday for this fight. He said, I was in the gym. Yeah, they all say they were in the gym, but he wasn't in fight camp.
Again, why it's still unacceptable, this performance from Milton.
Right.
Got to be hungrier than this as a prospect. If your career means that much to you, you've got to fight hungrier than this.
And as you said, Paulie, he's seeing the same thing we're seeing.
Yeah.
He's seen a guy who's clearly exhausted. We haven't seen that double, triple jab you would throw on a tired fighter. Make them always be aware, wear them down, right?
One guy's going for it, at least a little. Yeah. He's not going for it every round because I don't think he has the gas tank to do it.
He's going for it intelligently, based on what he knows he's got.
Based on what he's got, absolutely.
Yeah. If I've got a couple of gallons of gas in the tank, I'm not going to rev the engine, right? I'm going to try to cruise it as much as I can.
Roll downhill when you can.
But do just enough to stay ahead. Just enough to stay ahead.
Yep. Stop. Just enough to make sure the car doesn't turn off.
Jeremiah Milton, his corner saying straight punches, let your hands go.
That's when you shut up the AC, you shut up the radio.
We've all done it. We've all done it.
And you pray you find a gas station. Right now, Wright is trying to seem like he might be ahead. He's just trying to get to that gas station, which is the bell in
31 seconds away.
30 seconds left. The 10th and final round.
Let's see if he can close strong.
You'd argue both men
nice
need.
Hook there from Wright.
I was going to say, and has done more this round than Milton.
Nice uppercut there from Milton.
Good uppercut from Milton. Gets a reaction from the crowd.
Talking about someone's having to go. Right about who finishes strong in this last 10 seconds. It's wrestling season and a lot of that going on in round number 10, gentlemen. Well, at home, you believe that it was that man, Stanley Wright, 13-0, trying to make it 14-0. Late notice, doing everything he can, Jeremiah Milton.
Jimmy, I would have bet you a lot of money we would not have seen the final bell.
Oh, totally. Yep.
This is why I'm not a betting man.
There you go, champ. All this, you do good. You did good.
Did he do enough? That is the question.
Okay.
Fight without a lot of activity, but when Wright hit, he landed. There were meaningful punches.
Good show.
The question is, did Jeremiah Milton win enough of the middle rounds? We will have to see. Telling the crowd, took the fight last Thursday. Oh, we agree, said that in the fighter meeting. The fact that he may have done enough to win, gentlemen.
I mean, he definitely showed the will to want to win much more than Milton did.
I just want to let everybody know, I'm reading the chats at home, guys.
The chats are hilarious.
Wright is getting called Suge Knight in the chats. And they
remember him well. Death Row Records. Lupe, make it official.
After going all 10 rounds, we consult the official scorecard to determine a winner. Después de completar las 10 vueltas, consultamos a la tarjeta oficial. Los jueces Shipman y Ross entregan tarjetas idénticas de 97 a 92. Judges Shipman and Ross scored about identically at 97 to 92. And Judge Jackson scores it 96-93, el juez Jackson anotó. 96-93. A favor del vencedor. Por decisión unánime in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision. The Black Shogun, Stanley Wright.
Took it last Thursday, came in and won. By being exhausted, love to see him in shape. See what he can do. Stanley Wright moves to 14-0.
And just so you know, the odds makers just can't figure it out on ProBox. A plus 375 underdog just won on ProBox TV. We have consistent underdog winners here at ProBox TV. We make the even fights.
And gentlemen, it was about Chris' will to win. He tried with what he had, even though he had less.
No, I mean, honestly, the right guy won. The guy who was trying to win, the guy who was going for it. Even though he took this fighter in short notice, even though he didn't have the gas tank for 10 rounds, he spread out what he had to make it work, and he made it work. And he stole rounds with fast hands. He scored the early knockdown, sat on his lead, stayed ahead just enough. I can't complain with what Stanley Wright brought to the ring. And this is what he had, and he made it work.
And Jeremiah Milton, his camp has to be thinking.
Milton, on the other hand, I can complain a lot about.
Why can't you do more? Why wasn't more done?
Well, it's so frustrating because you see the talent. You see the talent. You want him to pull the trigger. It's there. There's so many opportunities, and he just does not have that will to step on the gas and get the win.
Yeah, and Wright didn't give. Wright wasn't an attention grabber. He took his little moments and he took what he could get and he won the fight. He wasn't all up in the video, all up in the song,
like
dancing.
Just like
he was in there.
Source Awards, look it up, kids, if you haven't seen it before. Naji Lopez, our main event coming up, versus Lenin Castillo in the light heavyweight division, the undefeated fighter, taking on the veteran name. A huge test for Naji Lopez. Stay with us.
At the Boeing Center in San Antonio. In the main event, San Antonio's own future world champ Ramon Cardenas takes on one of the most exciting young super bantamweight fighters emerging from Mexico, Brian Acosta. And in the co-main, Guatemalan sensation Lester Martinez looks to continue his win streak against the king of upsets, Joshan James.
ProBox TV is where you see the prospects, and it looks like there's another one in our main event. 12-0 Naji Lopez. Outstanding fighter in the light heavyweight division, taking up a big step in terms of competition against Lenin Castillo, the guy who's been there against some of the best in the world. It's a story as old as boxing. Why? You're 12-0, you're undefeated. Who have you fought? Yeah, you've looked great. Have you taken on the veteran? Lenin Castillo, the veteran, tonight. But Naji Lopez is one of those guys, he has it, right? And whatever it is, he has it. That championship ability, he's got the look, he has the skills. Will they be on display tonight? Can he look good against a guy like Castillo, Chris? That's the question.
I mean, if the title aspirations that they have for him are there, then yeah, he's going to have to be able to do that. Listen, this is a great progression. He's beating the undefeated guys. He's beating the tough journeyman guys. He's beating the dangerous guys who can punch. Well, now he's stepping up to not only a dangerous guy, but also a name fighter, a guy with more experience, a guy who's been in with the best in the world. And you're going to be using him as a measuring stick, like a litmus test to see how he compares to the other guys in the division where he's going to be very soon.
Now, Lenin Castillo, Paulie, when you talk about veterans, you always say, are they shop-worn to the point where they don't believe they're going to win? Castillo, we haven't seen that off-the-cliff performance yet. He might still have enough mentality to at least see what Lopez has in a long, difficult fight. What are your thoughts?
He had a bad knockout loss to Calvin Smith, but I think past that, you know, I think he can still be reasonably dangerous for a prospect on the level of Naji Lopez, who, again, hasn't stepped up all the way. He's fought some pretty good opposition, but he hasn't stepped up to this level yet, to the former championship level contenders and so on and so forth. Keep in mind, this is Naji Lopez's main event here. It's a main event. We had Najee in a main event. There's a psychological aspect to that as well, and you put pressure on yourself when you put yourself in those positions.
Not just to win, but to look good. What do the odds makers think? Naji Lopez,
well, the odds
minus 1250.
The odds makers think Castillo's shot, but
right.
But like we said, on ProBox, the odds makers have a lot of trouble. And not just our co-main. I mean, all of 2024, we had a lot of upsets here on ProBox. We strive to make the matches that are tough to make odds for.
And we do. Lenin Castillo plus 700. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. What do the numbers show us about these two fighters? Naji Lopez, 25 years old, right in the middle of his physical prime. Lenin Castillo, 36. Look at the height. Both guys very tall for the weight class. Lenin Castillo weighing in a little bit more, but Naji Lopez, a reach advantage. It might be a factor in this fight. Our main event ready to go. Lupe, get us started.
We continue here at the ProBox Event Center, Tampa, Florida. This is ProBox TV. The action being brought to you by Bet Online, along with Wild Casino. This contest set for 10 rounds for the vacant WBA Continental North America Light Heavyweight title. Este duelo, 10 vueltas por el título vacante peso super completo en la división, la división semi-completo norteamericano de la AMB. Our officials of the World Boxing Association, President Gilberto Jesus Mendoza. Our supervisor, Julio Tai. Our judges at ringside, los jueces son Harold Hunt, Michael Ross, y Braden Jackson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, prepare to be entertained. We're going to find out quién es el más macho. Your main event is on now. Presenting first. In the blue corner, presentando la esquina azul, vestido de negro con color blanco y steps in wearing blue with white trim, su peso oficial. 177 libras y un cuarto is official weight. 177 1/4 pounds tonight. This battle-tested veteran enters the ring with a record of 25 victories against 6 losses, 1 bout even, 19 of those victories coming by way of KO. Esta noche, este veterano aguerrido entra al cuadrilátero de ProBox TV con un récord de 25 victorias, 6 derrotas, un empate, 19 de sus victorias por la vía del cloroformo. Repping the DR, Santo Domingo, República Dominicana, Lenin Castillo. Across the ring, the red corner. En la esquina roja, vestido de negro con vivos dorados. He steps in wearing black with gold trim. He weighed in officially at 174 1/2 pounds. Detuvo la báscula a un peso oficial de 174 libras y media. Esta noche sube el cuadrilátero de ProBox TV invicto a nivel profesional con 12 victorias, 9 de sus victorias por la vía del knockout tonight. He enters the ProBox TV ring an undefeated pro with 12 victories, 9 of those victories coming by way of KO. Fighting out of Atlanta, Georgia, Naji CHINO Lopez. Our referee, Emil Lombardi.
All right, guys, let's go. All right, we went over the rules in the dressing room, guys. I expect a good, clean fight out of both of you. Pay close attention to my commands. Protect yourself at all times, guys. Touch them up, wait for the bell.
Our main event underway, the light heavyweight division. Naji Lopez, Lenin Castillo. Some focus in the eyes of that young man, undefeated, trying to make it 13-0. Lenin Castillo, no surprise, looking relaxed. Round number 1 underway.
Face-off interesting. I don't normally see eye-to-eye with Naji Lopez. He's normally very tall for the weight class. Castillo right there.
Yeah, even taller, right? One of our viewers, Matt Borgeson, we got a super chat, guys, so we got to read Matt Borgeson. He says Naji got dropped in one of his recent fights by not keeping his guard up. If he doesn't fix that issue, it could result in a knockdown.
That's what makes it interesting, does it not, Chris, is that Naji Lopez has shown vulnerabilities in the past. He hasn't put it all. He's come back. He's shown guts. He's shown heart. But we've seen technical vulnerabilities in it.
Yeah, and in places that Lennon Castillo is really good at. You know, he punches with guys. He's dangerous. He's got a good. He pulls the trigger well with both hands, both left hook and right hand, and he's got power.
In his fight with Dimitri Bivol, as you said, throwing in the middle of the combinations.
In the 12th round as well. Yep. All 12 with Bivol was one of those fights that on the scorecard was very, very wide, but he was very much in the fight trying to win. Nice feint from Naji Lopez. Gets a reaction out of Castillo.
Wondered how exactly Lenin Castillo would start this fight, and both of you said measured pace. He's not going to try and keep up with the kid.
Body shot there from Najee. It's interesting. You see a lot of the physical talents that Naji Lopez has. Reminds you of Darrelle Valsaint, who you just saw a couple fights ago. Again, fighting a guy with a ton of experience.
The combination there by Castillo going to the body as well.
Castillo keeping those eyes open on the inside.
Castillo, nice jab in response to the aggression of Naji Lopez.
Smart of Najee to go down to the body so consistently here in round one. Just got to make sure he brings that guard back up.
Yeah, Castillo tried that catch and shoot with the left hook, just missed it as Najee was going to the body.
Najee doing a nice job of using that left hand to set things up, but here comes Castillo right back with the right hand over the top.
Both fighters measured 6'2".
Body shot.
It actually looks like Castillo certainly fighting a little bit taller than I've seen previous fights. He's listed as 6'3", so
fights tall.
Yeah,
fights very tall. And you know, Champ, you'd mentioned that he had been knocked out by Callum Smith a couple fights ago. That's the only time he's ever been stopped. Yeah. And he's been with world-class guys, you know, for years. Callum Smith is a tremendous puncher. Got caught with a right hand early in that fight, was knocked out, but has come back with some wins and some losses, but has not been stopped since. Good feint there from Najee.
You see a little bit of the same approach taken by Castillo as Daniel took against Valsaint.
Yep.
Again, these are grizzled veterans. They're not ready to start out too quickly. They're going to kind of see what the young phenom has and see if they can take advantage of anything.
And that's why I mentioned Valsaint. Very similar matchup.
With athleticism from the undefeated fighter so far.
You're getting yourself close. You're getting close, right? But then you're just leaning in. You're not hitting the body, you're standing right there. All right? Off that jab, throw that hook and shoot that right hand. Okay. All right? He's setting you up for a right hand.
I see you go.
Yeah, but you, all right?
Make sure to protect myself.
Yeah, but you're very slow going back. Okay. Feints will work is good. Use that jab, okay?
Yeah.
Bang, bang. Don't load up on the right hand. Bang.
El ritmo es jab, como habíamos hablado. ¿Viste cómo es la baja? Tú lo que tienes que hacer es virar y venir rápido con el go. ¿Ok? Eso es lo que tenemos que hacer, ¿ok? Y después, yo
dropping his arm, keep the jab up.
Que bajo las manos, me las metiste las manos. Entonces sigue con el 1.20. ¿Quieres más agua? Estamos bien. Hey, 1.20, 1.40 en combinación, ¿ok? Vamos.
Guys, super chats keep coming. Cammy PR says, shout out to Paulie, one of the best in the game. Ben Center's in the building.
You gotta show that to me. I don't believe that.
I gotta give a shout out to Cammy
yeah,
PR.
it is there. It is there. Okay. All right, Paulie.
Hey guys in the chat. By the way, this is the YouTube chat. But if you guys download the app, you know, the more subscriptions we get, the better the fights are gonna get. Because you know what, it allows our channel to grow, and you know, allows our budget to get bigger to be able to afford better and better fighters. So
nice slick move there from Naji Lopez to evade a combination from Castillo. Loaded up with a couple big shots.
Yeah, angled out, bladed out nicely there. Good body shot there by Lopez as well. But yeah, guys, going back to what I was saying, download that app, man, because it allows us to keep growing this channel.
Chopping right hand from Castillo.
Nice right hand. Also, Paulie loves compliments. He's easily flattered. We love him.
Never heard a compliment I didn't like.
Naji Lopez fighting with confidence. This is our main event here on ProBox TV. Lopez undefeated at 12-0. 9 knockouts, fought a lot on ProBox TV.
I like how Najee keeps going back to that left hand. Going back to that jab.
Nice jab by Lopez.
Nice, solid shot there.
But you see what Castillo's doing. He's not trying to open up too much. What he's trying to do, he's trying to hold position. And if you hold position, you can be in a position to be able to punch back if Lopez makes a mistake on the defense or on the out from those punches he's throwing.
He's not going to be able to match Najee for usual exuberance and hand-speeding combinations. So it's smart of him
Try to beat him on position.
play the veteran move, the veteran tactics. Look for that single shot and try and build.
This fight for the WBA Continental North America title.
And that's something I said about Castillo. He's dangerous with both hands. The right hand and the left hook are heavy.
One of the questions, who to win the jab battle in this fight so far. Naji Lopez certainly busier with the jab.
Yeah, I find when you don't have an opponent in front of you that's that busy, sometimes just a jab can actually win you rounds, because Castillo is not looking to be busy. He's looking to hold position and trying to see if you overextend yourself, if he can take advantage of it. Guys like that, you can literally beat them with just a jab. But you won't overextend yourself, and you'll keep them with their hands at home. They won't be able to throw any shots, really.
Blood from the nose of Castillo here.
And those are probably from the jabs of Naji Lopez.
Castillo has the fundamentals, an Olympian in 2006 in Beijing. Sorry, 2008, the Beijing.
Nice feint. Inside, outside.
And again, that jab. And this is what I'm talking about here. Lopez can win a lot of this fight with a very educated left hand. I remember years ago being in camp, and Vernon Forrest let me know. I got into a big gym war with somebody in the gym, and Vernon coached me after the spar, and he's like, bro, you don't always have to overexert yourself. An educated lead hand will sometimes dominate guys if you don't have to come out of your pocket if you don't want to, unless they force you to sometimes, you know?
Dame tres, Perfecto, viene. Viene. I got his mouthpiece right here. Go ahead. Stay right there. Very good. Respira. Sigue llevándolo así. Sigue cogiéndole el ritmo ese jab. Ese jab lo tiene que sacar rápido. ¿Ok?
Like that. It's going to pick up. When it picks up, I want you to rip hard down here, motherfucker. Like, rip hard. All right? Don't be...
Welcome back. Round number 3 of our main event. We're just telling Castillo to stay behind that jab.
It'll come. That's going to come. It's going to come. But be ready. Just don't pop back out. Okay. All right? Yes, sir. Chin down, Najee. Chin down.
And I think that's what Mark Freight's kind of telling him, you know, don't overlook for it. It's going to come. Okay. Just keep being smart, and it's going to come. And that's sort of what I was alluding to when I got those that advice from Vernon Forrest many years ago in the gym. It's like, you know, if you fight smart, the openings will create themselves off that intelligent boxing. But if you overlook for it, sometimes you can open yourself up for some shots that you shouldn't get hit with.
Well, that's exactly what's happened to Naji Lopez thus far in his career. When he has had those moments of faltering, it's because he's trying too hard and forcing a fight. Because with the physical talents that he has, the speed, the length, you know, the endurance, the gas tank, he can make fights a lot easier. He just wants to engage so much, he leaves opportunities for his opponent.
And a guy like Lenin Castillo, talk about his veteran savvy, he can find those opportunities to attack. He's at the point in his career as well where he's taken on prospects. Last time out, lost to a prospect 12-0, Juan Carrillo. That was in Puerto Rico. He's got to learn how to deal with these kind of guys who, as you said, Chris, have the physical advantages.
Yeah, and that's why we keep talking about how much does he have left. Has he fallen into that rut of, I'm going to fight these undefeated guys, and yeah, I'll get to the end, but I'm not really here to win. I don't really see that thus far from Castillo, but more and more, I think, as this fight wears on, we're going to see him opening up less and less. He's getting tattooed on the outside with that left hand.
Yeah, and that's the thing, what I was alluding to is Lopez, if you got a guy like Castillo who's looking for you to overexert yourself and trying to make you pay, well, then you got an educated and sharp left hand like Lopez does. Then you're gonna create a situation where Castillo's not gonna be able to get off.
Jab from Najee. Every once in a while, he slips in a real heavy, stiff one. And that's where you're seeing the blood from the nose of Castillo, and it's keeping him on the outside.
That's also what you want to mix the gears. You also want to mix the gears on that lead left hand. If you're Lopez, you know, that's how you keep it tricky. And that's very smart, champ, that he is doing that at times. That stiff one in there, and then the speed ones, and also, you know,
I also like he's walking the ring. He's walking the ring at times. Lopez is taking a walk.
Oh, he looked low and went high with that right hand. Looked down at the body.
That's the thing. When you're keeping your man busy with that left hand, you're giving him a lot of different looks. That's when you can sneak in the offense behind it like that.
Yep. And also walking the ring, champ, you may do with that.
Showboating a little bit with the jab.
Changes the distance and continues to make things a little more complicated for Castillo, who's got his feet a little bit stuck in the mud.
Paulie, talking about confidence. Naji Lopez right now feeling it, dropping his hands.
That's the thing, though. Again, when you work off that lead hand so smoothly, it starts to flow naturally. That's what I mean. You don't have to look for it. Your natural ability just starts to flow.
He's also building off of a lot of what he's doing.
Exactly.
Which I really like. He's using the feints. Oh, good stiff jab, but once again, nice feint.
Caught the veteran coming in.
Jab, jab, low. Beautiful, beautiful work here. Double, triple feint.
Great round from Naji Lopez.
Giving a lot of different looks here.
Different looks, different gears.
Castillo came in very confident, looking less and less confident these rounds wear on.
Be alert with the right hand, okay? And Najee, when you're backing up, chin down, right? Your jab.
There we said that look down, shoot the right hand up. And again, when you're establishing a lead hand dominance the way that Naji Lopez is, the offense just flows off it. And I love the way that he's building off of that left hand, building off of that jab. He's taming his man, he's domesticating him, and then he's coming with the big power shots.
Changing speeds on it, also punching off at different levels, and also different amounts of weight on the shot.
Yep. Great variation.
Hey, esta es tuya, esta pelea es tuya, cabrón.
You alert. Let's go.
Let's go.
Castillo's corner saying, this is yours.
That's the bell.
He's going to have to go for it, though, because that last round was not a good round for him.
Round number 4. Our main event, Naji Lopez, once again, starting with the jab. Nice, sharp right hand afterward.
And Lennon tried to go downstairs to the body. Again, he's trying to hold that ground and try to punch with Lopez.
Now you see Lennon.
Again, that's why you got to pick your moments when you let go of the other shots.
Standing his ground a little more this round, wants to assert himself.
Thought about a double leg for a second there. Choked up on him, went back. Naji Lopez, decorated amateur in his own right, Junior Olympic and Georgia Golden Gloves champion. He was an amateur. Does have that amateur pedigree. Not an Olympian like Castillo, but you definitely see the fundamentals.
Yeah, both these guys well schooled, no doubt about it. Castillo putting out a lot of energy this round.
Yeah, and then Lopez fighting just on the thread of just on the thread of that distance. So he remains a viable threat to Castillo.
Nice left hook to the liver there.
The punches are starting to get to Castillo a little bit.
Yeah, you can see it in his face. His facial expression has changed.
Yep.
Gentlemen, there comes a moment where it's no longer fun. And Castillo seems to be like,
Well, it's also, you know, I like the approach that Lopez taken with this distance. I just said he's on the thread of the threatening distance, but at the same time, he's also on that thread where he's safe as well. He knows exactly when to step in and when to step out.
Well, a lot of that's coming from, that was a beautiful slip. A lot of that's coming from the face as well.
Yep.
He's keeping Lennon Castillo
off balance.
Off balance. He doesn't know exactly when he's coming or going. And when you got a guy like Castillo who pulls that trigger and lets go with big shots, you make a guy miss, it makes him hesitant. They didn't want to do it anymore.
And you know something that was always taught to me through the years in the gyms was your feints work more effectively when your jab is sharp. And right now, Lopez's lead hand with that jab variation is really sharp.
Good body shot there on the way out for Naji Lopez. Great combination, finishes down low. Castillo did not like that shot.
And he's catching Castillo waiting. You see those eyes up and down, and it seems like Castillo's kind of waiting for when the strike is going to come rather than initiating himself.
He's trying to punch with Lopez, but that change of variation prevents him from being able to time it.
Changing levels, changing speed, changing angles. Castillo's having trouble getting a beat on.
Ooh, nice jab.
Yeah, stiff. Snappy.
Beautiful work so far from Naji Lopez. Opening up, getting more and more confident, gentlemen.
Needs to be careful, though. He still has a dangerous guy in front of him. And we've seen this in the past with Naji Lopez. Gets a little too confident, gets hit with shots he doesn't need to. So far tonight, he's been very sharp, though.
He's the guy in the corner. You have to calm down more than pump up.
Yep. Got to keep reminding him. Stay on track. Keep that left hand working. Get those feints going. Don't stay in there too long if you don't need to.
So dangerous.
That was that
like
combination
this,
I was
right?
talking about when he finished down low with the left hook to the body.
It's tough, Chris, because when he's feeling himself, he's so dangerous.
Yes.
But that's also where you get clipped.
Yep, exactly. That's why I love combination punchers so much, because the highest level, it's so hard to throw combinations on world-class guys. Because they can look at counter you. They can thread it down the middle. It only takes one. So when you got a guy who's at high level still lets his hand go on combination, that's always so impressive to me.
About to begin round number 5, scheduled for 10. Local Tampa fighter Antonio Tarver, saw him in the crowd. When I asked him about Roy Jones Jr., he said when a guy has speed, you got to punch in the middle. Yeah. You got to interrupt their offense right in the middle of what they're doing.
George Foreman always said it, timing beats speed.
Yep.
Yeah, Teddy, that was a Teddy line too. He used to love saying that.
You talked about sparring with Vernon Forrest. He was one of the masters of that.
Yeah. That's how you beat
Vernon
Shane,
was good
right?
at everything.
Shook a Shane, yeah, beat him twice.
Vernon was good at everything.
He was.
Nice combination.
Beautiful stuff from Naji Lopez.
Those touches to the body, though, nice snap shots. He's picking his spots well to touch the body every once in a while. And that could pay dividends as the fight weighs on.
When you talk to him, Naji was excited about this opportunity. He didn't see this as a step up that he has to worry about. It's a step up to show people how great I am.
Yeah.
So far, he's doing that.
It's a recognizable opponent. I think Naji's beaten some very good opponents in his career as a prospect, but they're not recognizable to the average fan. So I don't think he got the credit he may have deserved for the level of opposition he's been beating. A guy like Lennon Castillo now is more recognizable to the boxing public. So beating a guy like this, maybe beating him in an impressive fashion, the way he's doing so far, that may open up more eyes to Lopez. But we here at ProBox, we've already known the kind of opponents that Lopez has taken on and beaten.
Oh, good left hook there from Castillo.
A bit of a balance move there.
Yeah, caught Naji Lopez off balance.
You know, this is what I was talking about last time, on staying in the pocket a little too long.
Oh! Nice left hook.
Beautiful feint to the body. I love how he set that up. He went to the body first. Love that move. Went to the body first. Had Castillo thinking for the left hook to the body, then feinted it and shot the left hook to the head.
Champ, that's what I was talking about, building off of what's working. That's beautiful.
And Castillo, the veteran, initiating a firefight.
Yeah, Castillo didn't like that. You saw him playing with his jaw a little bit off the clinch.
Very nicely done. Now you're starting to see the relaxed Naji Lopez. He's confident, so he's not overthinking, and you're starting to see that flow. He's getting into that flow. See, he's right at that edge of that distance.
Look at the eyes. He's looking up, looking down. I love the eye feint. It's the nuances in the sport. That's what separates the best from everybody else.
And Castillo going to keep trying to impose the position battle. It's all he can.
Oh, another good right hand.
Back comes Castillo with a big left hook, though.
That's all Castillo can do. He's going to keep trying to impose this position battle. And this is why you fight guys like this, because they keep you focused the entire fight. They're not just going to go away. They've been at championship level.
See how Najee mixes up the power?
Yeah. 2
fast punches, big left hook upstairs. Even though it was blocked, still got everyone's attention.
When you change gears of the pace, when I talk about changing gears, not just the pace of the fight, it's also the gears of the speeds of the punches you throw and how much emphasis is on each one.
Gentlemen, you talk about Castillo answering back. When it comes to the snap, there's no comparison. No. Lopez has snap on his punches.
Also, just the length of the combinations, you know, the amount of punches he's throwing.
Huh? Why? I just told you that. Right? Right? Yes? Use that jab. He's breathing hard. Those body shots are killing him. Don't sit in there and hit you. He's gonna hit you.
Welcome to round number 6, halfway through. Scheduled for 10.
Trata de sacarme esa recta más rápido.
Talk about that shot here. You see, look at the shot to the body. It was actually a little low, but watch the feint. Watch the feint.
Down low, bang.
And Castillo's thinking about the body shot he just took. That's why he reacts the way he does. Same thing here. Like, see the shot, different angle. Watch Castillo react to the feint. Why does he react? Because he just took that body shot. Beautiful left hook to the head. And that was well seen by Lopez. Nice right hand there by Lopez at the end of the round as well. Good observation, good thinking ability. This is what you talk about when you talk about IQ of a prospect. For Lopez to react and see that, and then to set it up the way he did.
That only comes with awareness. And Naji Lopez is staying nice and
IQ
calm.
champ.
Look, I'm telling you right now, I saw Castillo in the corner complaining about his jaw. Took his mouthpiece out, couldn't close his jaw. That often means you have a fractured jaw. You see him complaining about it here.
Yeah, at this age, you know, you really want to go through a fight with a fractured jaw, man. I know Whitaker did it at an extended age against Trinidad.
But he was a defensive wizard. Castillo, not so much. He has to stay in the pocket. You see he's having a hard time keeping his mouth closed.
Comfortable.
He's shaking his head no. This fight is close to being stopped.
He took that big left hook last round, but also that big right hand that we showed you in the 2 replays.
But gentlemen, he's throwing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Throwing like, he's got nothing to lose.
He's a warrior.
Castillo's only been stopped by that one shot by Callum Smith. So
yeah, but if you're injured, it's different.
Yeah, he's a tough
Injury's different.
But, yeah. I mean, 36 years old is not easy to go through. Good shot. Now Lopez also very confident.
Yeah, you see, every time he gets hit, he's wincing in pain.
Gentlemen, you know, with your jaw open, that's where it gets snapped.
Also, Castillo giving up more ground now. Castillo, at least, even though he was losing the fight, was trying to hold his ground as best he could. But now, I think because he's feeling some of these shots, he's more willing to give up ground, you see?
I think he's actually taking the shots really well tonight in terms of showing a good chin, but if you got damage to that jaw, it's a whole different thing.
That's what I'm saying. Now you don't want to catch and shoot, or you don't want to hold your position to catch and shoot because you don't even want to get touched on that jaw.
Now he's giving it ground.
When you don't have that injury, you won't.
Oh, beautiful right hand. Oh, this might be over.
That's it. He's done.
It would take guts for Castillo to get up after this.
He's done. He's done. You gotta stop this fight.
Yeah, his legs.
You gotta stop this fight.
His legs are rocked.
He's also hit when he was down. You know, and again, it wasn't intentional, but his knee hit the ground, then he got hit again.
He's rocked, and he's still complaining about that jaw.
Saying he wants to continue, and he will.
They gotta start. The corner has to start. The corner has to start looking out for him. The corner's yelling at the ref for the foul, but honestly, you're not gonna get that foul here. I understand it. You know, it was such a bang shot. I don't even think Lopez realized the knee touched the ground, but
Castillo's throwing still. He's still throwing. He's looking for shots.
But Naji Lopez all over him. Referee very, very close to stopping this fight.
Oof. But Castillo's still throwing. He's looking for that big right hand.
Ballsy guy, man.
What a warrior.
Guts of steel.
And that's it. He stopped it. Castillo trying to answer back, but not enough for the referee.
No, I think it was actually the corner.
I think the corner stand up.
I'll give credit to Castillo, though, man.
Yeah, he's a warrior.
I'm telling you, it's not easy to do that at 36 years old to go through that, man.
Not at all.
I've been there, bro. I didn't want to deal with it. It's not. You're not 25 anymore, man.
Especially, it looked like there was a jaw injury late.
Yeah, you see the doctor looking at it now.
Yeah, we're gonna get a replay of the knockdown in this recent round. And yes, you say, okay, it's a foul because his knee hit the ground, but it's such a bang shot. Yeah. I don't think Lopez realized that he was down.
Really tell.
And the referee's 60 feet away, which also isn't good. Because both guys are on the ropes. I don't know, on the corner. I don't know why the referee's so far away.
So he gets hit on the temple there. Knee goes down, and then uppercut right on the chin. Oh.
Referee did not say stop. Didn't signal down. You keep punching.
Well, that's the thing. He's too far away.
Yeah.
And it's such a touch. There's a touch and go there with that knee bouncing off the ground. The fighter is no way. There's no way the fighter's going to realize his knee touched the ground. That's on the referee to be closer and make sure he cleans that up. There is no way the fighter's going to realize that.
Naji Lopez did what he had to do. Beautiful combination, great finish.
Stayed focused throughout, did Najee as well. So that was the big question about this fight. Was he going to be able to be disciplined with a dangerous guy?
And credit to Lennon Castillo. He didn't show up just for a check. He tried to fight. He tried to win. Tried to see what Najee had. It was too much. But even when it was getting bad, he still was trying to fight the whole way. Even at the very end, he was throwing some big right hands trying to land that one shot. Castillo's corner complaining about the referee being too far away, also which allowed Najee to hit him after it went down. I think those are valid complaints. Valid complaints.
But I like how they're not complaining about the shot when he's down, because that's not Najee's fault. It's the referee not being in position.
But Naji Lopez, impressive in the toughest test of his career, gentlemen.
Yeah, but very, very disciplined. He knew he had a dangerous guy in front of him. Castillo came out, throwing no savvy shots in between, trying to punch with Najee, but Najee using the feints, the lead left hand, the variations to keep Lenin Castillo off balance and not able to land those big power shots, especially in combination. And the Najee just kept building and building and building, mixing in stiff, hard jabs in between the snappy jabs, in between the combinations, really keeping Lenin Castillo busy defending so he couldn't be offensive himself. Then we saw a beautiful body shot with that left hand. There was that left hand that seemed to have knocked Najee off balance. But it was that shot right there which seemed to damage the jaw of Lenin Castillo. He went back to the corner, taking his mouthpiece out, complaining about it, having trouble closing it, and then bang, big right hand, left hook combination.
I mean, there's no way the referee's supposed to be that far away, guys. I mean, you're on the ropes. I don't like the referee being too close when the action is moving, but there's no movement there. Lenin is against the ropes. There's no reason to be that far away.
It looks like the commissioner was signaling that the corner had stopped the fight. I believe that's how the fight ended.
I think that was a good stoppage.
Well, Castillo didn't want to stop. He looked around like, why are we stopping a fight?
Like,
what a warrior. What a warrior.
But when he was throwing, he's fighting. It wasn't like he stopped fighting. He was fighting.
Yeah, he made that man, Naji Lopez, earn it. Lupe, make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the ProBox TV ring, referee Emil Lombardi steps in and stops this contest with an official time of 2 minutes 36 seconds of round number 6. El referee Emil Lombardi para la contienda con un tiempo oficial de 2 minutos 36 segundos del sexto episodio, declarando el ganador por knockout técnico, declaring the winner by way of technical knockout. And now, the WBA Continental North America Light Heavyweight Champion, Naji CHINO Lopez.
Darrelle Valsaint cheering on his stablemate. Better make room for a lot of belts for this man, Naji Lopez.
And I'm telling you, tonight, especially with Khalil Coe and Ben Whitaker not looking good recently in their fights, I think Najee has really stepped up to the plate here. Might be the premier prospect in the light heavyweight division. In a tough weight class where at the very top you've got some very good fighters. We may have the best prospect in the weight class right now on a world stage is Naji Lopez.
And Champ, to your point, it's not enough just for your opponents to not look great. You have to go out there and look great, and he did that tonight.
Exactly. And he went and he showed the hunger and desire and determination he has to, achieve his goals.
One thing about being at the top of a great weight class, a lot of tough guys choose through a lot of talent, right? You need that next generation coming up. Yep. Naji Lopez, very much a part of that generation. Did just win tonight. He looked impressive. We know about the controversy of the knee going down and back up. He was looking great before that. His skill set, incredible.
Yeah, listen, the knee is that's not his fault.
Nope, not at all.
The referee was far away. He did his job. He went out there.
Yeah.
But listen, we kept talking about it tonight. He set the plate to eat, and he ate. Yeah. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, you gotta set the table to eat, right?
That's right. Set the table to eat. I said plate.
You set the table with the lead left hand. We were very complimentary of that because that is your ticket to going many rounds when you get to that world-class level when you just can't get everybody out of there in 1 or 2 rounds, and you've got to now know how to navigate your way through the rounds. That educated left hand is their ticket to get you to set that table throughout a long fight, and that's exactly what Naji Lopez showed tonight.
That and the consistent feinting. That was really big tonight. When you got to counterpunch, you got to feint it out.
As I said, though, Champ, the feints get more effective when your lead hand is sharp. And when you have a sharp lead hand, those feints are going to be destroyers, and that's exactly we saw the product of that tonight.
When the punch works, they buy the feint.
Because think about it. Think about it. Jeremiah Milton was feinting too, but there was no good lead left hand, so it wasn't like Wright didn't buy anything. But you see how effective the feints become when your lead hand is sharp and it's varied and it's creative. Najee had all that.
The whole time, Lenin Castillo was trying to fire back, trying to throw big punches. His corner said, "Chin down, keep your defense solid." He did that the entire fight. There was never a lapse where he's like, I got this guy. Never did that. He stayed tight the whole time. We were wondering about that.
In the past, he's done that. And he's gotten clipped. He did not do that tonight.
But I'll tell you what, it was also Castillo. Credit to Castillo. This is why you get this kind of opponent who kept him honest by at least showing the position. You know, Castillo couldn't really let his hands go all crazy. He's a little bit older. But what do these savvy veterans do? They know how to be in position to where if they see something, they can pounce on it. Castillo kept trying to put himself in that position, so he kept Najee honest, because you see a guy who's constantly trying to put himself in position. And as a good young prospect, you recognize that. You recognize, okay, this guy's in dangerous position. I got to stay sharp, and Najee did that.
But we had a question about Lenin Castillo. Was he shot? Was he shot-worn? Could he pull the trigger anymore? I don't think it had anything to do with his age today. I think it had to do with Najee, like we said, keeping him honest, not giving him the opportunity, not letting him be in the position to land those counters.
It's not the best Lenin Castillo champ, but I think it's still a Lenin Castillo who's viable and who can bring out the impressive things that your prospect needs in order to keep getting better. And that's exactly what we saw tonight in Naji Lopez. This is why you match your prospect with a guy like this. It comes a point in your career where you get these kind of guys and you see how you beat them. You're supposed to beat them still because they're past their prime. You're supposed to beat them. But it's the way you get past them. It's what you show. It's the impressive things you do in the fight, and that's all the things that Naji Lopez did tonight.
Yeah, he did it, and he did it extremely well. Let's talk about another prospect, Darrelle Valsaint. Gentlemen, talk about different gears, skill set, IQ. He showed all of it tonight against a game opponent who was very, very experienced. Valsaint looked probably the best he ever has under the ProBox TV banner.
I've been really high on Blast since the moment I saw him. I was waiting for that breakout performance. I thought it was going to be against Angel Ruiz. He was looking good in that fight, was really starting to build, but like you've always said, Jim, I wanted to see if he was going to keep that up under immense pressure from a very good fighter. Angel Ruiz is a very, very tough guy, another guy who wanted to win. We didn't get that fight, obviously, see the culmination of that fight because of a cut. It went to a no contest. But tonight, he showed me things that I've been waiting to see, that I knew he had it in him, and he brought it out tonight.
And you had to show IQ in this fight tonight, too. Just a different kind of IQ. Because now you had a savvy veteran who wasn't bringing a fast pace, but again, just like in the Naji Lopez fight, a guy who knew how to keep that position, knew how to put pressure on you mentally, even if he didn't use it physically all the time. And Lopez, and Valsaint stayed calm and creative in setting up that knockout.
What we love about ProBox TV here is you see our fighters and you're sitting at home going, man, I wonder what the ceiling is on this guy. And every time when it comes to Blast Valsaint, when it comes to Naji Lopez, it seems like the ceiling keeps getting higher for these guys. Every time we think, man, they can be better than I even thought last time. Fair or not tonight, Chris?
Absolutely. I mean, with Valsaint, both guys, really, there is no ceiling. As long as they keep doing what they're doing, as long as they keep riding that razor's edge of being uncomfortable and getting better and bringing it out here on fight night, I mean, that's all you can ask for.
And we've seen different guys at different levels here on ProBox TV, and that have impressed us more than others. You see a guy like Nicholas Flores, who I could see fighting for a world championship tomorrow if he would get the opportunity. I could see him winning a world championship. That's how much I've rated Nicholas Flores. We've seen that in Angel Oleo, for example, who did become a world champion after being on ProBox TV. Guys like Valsaint and Naji Lopez aren't ready for world championships yet, but what you're seeing is the impressive ascension to contender status that you expect to happen in 2025, and to open up their 2025 in the way they have tonight gives you that confidence to say we're going to see these guys in a dangerous 50-50 fight very soon. But you expect them to put them in there in that dangerous fights as prospects already.
For example, Ramon Cardenas, 25-1, taking on Brian Acosta, 20.
And this is another impressive guy.
That's another one. What about Lester Martinez? When you talk about undefeated prospects, you wonder what their ceiling is?
Against an undefeated prospect in Joshawn James.
Exactly. Is what we do here on ProBox TV, Saturday, February 8th, San Antonio, Texas.
I want to give a sort of a moment of silence for the match, for the odds makers. It's a moment of silence for the odds makers. All right,
all done. Okay, good. That's what we did.
Very, very tough to make matches on ProBox TV, make odds. We love you guys at home. Subscribe to the app. Thank you for being such great fans, and we hope we can keep giving you good fights.
It was a great night of fights. Darrelle Blast Valsaint looking absolutely fantastic. And in the main event, once again, Naji Lopez looking fantastic. Join us next time on ProBox TV.